And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please welcome to the ice the members of the 2016 NCAA National Champions from the University of North Dakota.
Welcome back to the Has-Beens, presented by 10K Takes. We are joined by, usually I say special guests. I'm not going to say that
Well, they are special.
this time because I did tweet out this week about making a joke about a brown nose guy having shit on his nose for brown nosing, sucking up. But we have our bosses in the studio here. Jack Bossman Leverentz and Jake Bringgold, also known as...
He doesn't get a title.
Also known as Kirk Cousins.
Oh, there it
is.
So
Take Bringgold. Bringgold.
we're happy to have these guys in the studio with us. We wanted to get their take on how they started 10K, how we got here as a podcast. We have a lot to thank them for, but I think they have a lot to thank us for putting on this beautiful show about college hockey.
It's
and experiences.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
It's guys doing business. It's
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, but thanks for coming on, guys. We're really, we appreciate you guys coming in. This will be a special episode. Before this, everyone's hearing this recording right now, but before this, we planned to start the podcast at 7, and it's now 8:30 p.m. because we talked too much, and we didn't really get any of it on tape. But anyways, let's get into our sponsor now, the Chill Boys. The Chill Boys, and now you guys are going to get $75 to the Chill Boys
damn.
gift card, bamboo underwear, bamboo socks, www.chillboys.com.
Look at, hey, I got them on too.
That looks
They're
awesome.
fucking comfy.
You guys already have matching boxers. How
We're
long
all-
have you been doing
listen,
this?
look at that.
We're
Wow.
all wearing them.
Yeah.
They're incredible. They're sponsoring us. They're giving you guys gift cards. They've got us gear. You guys are going to order these things and be wearing them around, and you'll be spreading the word as well because they're unbelievable.
My underwear has some of it has holes in it.
Yeah.
Mine do as well.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy
I
who
need
will
new
buy
shit.
like 100 shots out in Cowboy Jacks in Minneapolis, but I'll be like, no, these underwear work fine.
I've had the
I'm not
same-
gonna buy them.
Just
Underwear.
turn them
I don't
inside
have money
out.
for
Those are
I don't have
$4
money.
bucks.
Yeah, I don't have money. I don't have money to buy new underwear,
No.
but I've got money for shots
Right.
for the bar.
100%.
I've had the same pair of underwear for like the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
This is not good.
No.
So
I still haven't.
this isn't now an incentive for me to get some high quality underwear.
No,
It
and
is
they
high
make,
quality.
They make good. I mean, it's good stuff.
Bamboo.
Yeah.
No,
huh?
I mean, it
they're,
looks
they're made of
You
bamboo.
guys, you guys will put them on, and bamboo sounds weird, but you put them on, and you'll be like,
It's
I'm gonna order
literally-
more of these.
I'll be one with nature.
Yeah,
It's literally like, pillows, Tempur-Pedic mattresses to your balls.
Yeah,
It is.
It is.
Okay.
It actually, it's a nice feeling.
Picture that feeling of your sack sitting on a Tempur-Pedic pillow all day.
Floating
I like
on a
that.
cloud.
Yes, floating. It's like your balls are floating on a
Now,
cloud.
people
Yeah.
talk about how underwear need to be good for people who are active, but what about people who sit in a chair for like 14
No,
hours
that's
a
what
day?
they're
That's
made for.
what I do. It's perfect.
Because that's my life.
Yeah.
We're has-beens here. We're not promoting this stuff to athletes. You shouldn't wear this stuff if you're doing hardcore sports. Just do this when you're sitting down. Maybe hand over the pants. You're watching a TV show
Yeah.
and there's a little sex scene, and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
just give it a
Something
little
comes
up.
rub
Quick
down there.
Play a little 5-on-1.
Maybe
OTP
tuck-
H
Roll the
shape.
dice.
Yeah.
maybe
OTP
you're on a
shape.
date with the girl and you're watching a movie and there's a little something going on. You start to get a little blood flow down there. Just tuck it down.
What the hell are we talking? Are we sure Chill Boys is okay with this as an advertisement?
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't
Let's
matter.
just calm
It doesn't matter. They're great.
This underwear is amazing.
Wear them whenever.
Yes.
But
Do we?
and then also we want to get into our sign here. As you guys can see, we had a special sign made for us, the Has-Beens Podcast 10K logo. It was made by Troy Olson, Trevor's brother. He's got his own sign company, Soda Signs it's called, out of Duluth.
Yep.
Tell us a little more about your brother's company. I mean, we're very thankful to have this sign.
That
It's
sign
incredible.
is sweet.
It is very cool. He sent me a picture of it originally. I was like, all right, you outdid yourself. But that's kind of biased because he's my brother. So I'll give him a little shit. But in the end, he's got a good business. It's something he's passionate about. He wraps cars with, like, you see all the cars with the decals on it and stuff like that. He does that kind of stuff. He does different signage. He started a few months back. He learned how to do this from my dad with Duluth Sign, and then he went off and did his own thing. And he helped us out with that sign there, and possibly some stuff in the future.
Pretty cool stuff. I mean, I've met Troy before a couple times. Really happy for him. This is awesome.
It is cool.
We love to see it. We love to see people starting shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you guys understand it. It's tough, but
it's a grind.
You put your time in. You never know what could happen. So it's pretty cool.
And one last shout out. I know my grandma, my grandpa, and my aunt Tracy. They're religious listeners of the show.
Oh, are they? Nice.
They watch the show. They listen to it. They saw us drinking Mark West Pinot Noir on the show, and they're like, "Hey, are you guys sponsored by Mark West? We'll try some of that." I'm like, just tell them, like, yeah, for sure.
Hey, you can be sponsored by whoever you want as long as you say it.
We don't have a wine sponsor technically yet.
Thank you, Mark West, for supplying us with this wine that I paid for, but you guys supplied it. But no, now they're drinking Mark West wine, and they're like, "This is great stuff. This is awesome." Sending me pictures. It's pretty funny. So I know they're going to listen to this next episode and have a laugh. And I just wanted to put that out there. But now let's get into our weekends. I like talking about our weekends. What did we do? Was it chill? Do anything fun? Ol, start us off.
Yeah. Truthfully, Friday night, chill's an understatement. We hung out. By we, I mean me and the gal hung out.
The gal.
I got a gal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Congrats on the sex.
Got an old lady.
Whoa. Whoa.
We're already getting to that point.
Weren't we just talking about Gage's grandma? Who said old lady?
They're avid listeners,
I just
though,
said
so
my
now
old
they know
lady.
my personal business.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Hey, people like
Congrats on the
transparency.
I've actually...
Ols's girl wanted to chill Friday night, and Ols's like, "You trying to get the pipe?"
My God. What
It's
is...
a J.R. Smith
What is...
quote. It's a J.R. Smith quote.
Don't quote Gage.
J.R. Smith, the same guy who's playing college golf right now.
I'm absolutely
He's a gentleman.
confused as to what's happening right now, but no, I haven't even kissed her yet. We've been dating 7 months, so I'm hoping that comes soon.
That's a fucking bit, right?
That's a gotta get joke.
No,
Wait,
I've never kissed her.
You're playing, dude.
No, this is a joke.
This is a bit.
This is a bit.
It's a bit.
Okay.
Dated someone for 7 months, never kissed her. I would hop out of that relationship very quickly if that never happened.
It's me. I'm the one.
Is that
No,
what
Jake.
it's all about, though?
Jake, you're allowed to be aroused. He has kissed her. So.
Oh, okay. So he has kissed her.
Anyway, we had a chill night. We, went out, got some drinks, a little food, and then she's got a pool table back at her place.
Congrats on the sex.
What'd you guys do on the pool table?
I beat her.
I thought you just said I have a pool. She has a
He's
pool.
gonna say he beat her, but I know she beat him.
He let her win.
Who's telling the damn story right now?
Off the
I'm
rails.
fucking confused. I mean, you guys will have your turn. I promise you that. Good
It was
Lord.
funny to me because people were talking about you banging your girlfriend, and then you said she's got a pool table, and that's made me laugh.
Well, she does, and we played some damn pool. I beat her. We hugged it out, and I slept on her couch.
You got to realize it's the way you tell that story that's hilarious.
That's what I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, he wasn't in the doghouse. He chose to sleep on the couch.
Yep.
'Cause he's not married yet.
Yep.
And
Save
here
me.
it has been, and at 10K as well, I'm sure. We wait till marriage to do that.
Right.
stuff.
Yes.
Unintentionally, we are high believers in abstinence.
Yes.
Yes. 100%.
We've all been there. So
Hashtag
my weekend was great.
Yeah.
I guess.
Chill weekend. I mean, mine was similar. I worked a bunch Saturday. I actually decided to work Saturday. Kind of wanted to get myself out of that Friday, go out, and then feel shitty Saturday. So I got a lot of shit done Saturday, and then went and hung out with some friends Saturday. Played some beer pong. I actually played against a couple Gophers.
Oh, nice. Go Gophers.
I wasn't shooting that well.
Oh, Gophers.
Lost.
Look over, so-
He says that out of the blue, like
Oh yeah.
As he's
Bro,
watching the Gopher basketball
I'm
game
watching
on
Gopher
his
basketball.
phone.
such a degenerate.
I am a DJ gopher.
We've all been there.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing to write home about. I mean, it was, standard weekend. It's good. We all love our weekends. I love seeing those almost Friday posts, on Thursday.
Oh yeah, Friday beers.
Oh, it's almost Friday. It's great. Sick picture. It's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about your guys' weekends? I mean, what did you guys get up to? Anything good? Anything to write home about?
I guess I'll start. So Friday night, we decided we were going to see the new Jackass movie, which is hilarious. Went to the Sunshine Factory down the road from the 10K house in Plymouth. Listen to the deals they have at this fucking place. I don't know how they're still in business. During Wild Games specifically, it's $3 mugs of McGolden. I know like people in small towns listening are like, that's like 24/7 here. Like, no, in the cities, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's like $6 a beer.
The beer of the month is Surly Furious there at the Sunshine Factory. $5.50 for a mug of that shit. And then if the Wild win, it's a free drink around the whole bar. But anyways, so like we just went to this place to get like a beer before the movie.
Never happens.
Ended up having like 3 of them because they're $3 a
Yeah.
piece.
Yep.
You have to.
You have a budget. You have a budget
Right,
going in,
right.
You
and then you realize the
you always
deal.
get that first one in, and then you're like,
That felt good.
The second one,
And
would
it's a
feel,
Friday.
The second one would feel a little better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you get that second one down, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna cut it off after this one, but a third one would put me right in the pocket.
Right,
the
exactly.
fucking
So we
pocket.
went to Jackass, Forever. Believe it or not, that movie theater had a bar, so you get a couple more there. You're sitting there going up to the last row with like 4 beers in your hands. Right, I'm ready to just watch. Do you guys remember like the back in the day when like movie theaters didn't have bars and shit?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Like now, most movie theaters it's a standard to
It
serve
seems
alcohol.
like they all do.
Yeah,
Yeah, back in the day,
have
it was
to, though.
popcorn and bunch of crunch, but
Right.
now it's
Cookie
beer
dough
and
bites.
And buttered
Tequila
popcorn,
shots.
which is not a good combination.
Back in the day, popcorn, bunch of crunch, and hopefully a little handhold.
Yeah,
that's
Or,
what you're hoping for.
or a
That's
little-
what you're
a
hoping
little
for.
tuggy through the popcorn
A
thing.
little tuggy. maybe later on the
What
high
in
school
the
days.
God's
Maybe later on the high school days, you're hoping for a little over the pants action.
OTPH day.
OTP. Oh, wow.
Good acronym. Look it up.
Yes.
Freshman,
Not on your work computer,
The
though.
freshman middle school, it's like, when should I grab her hand to hold it? I don't know. When's the
Handholding.
right time? Is this the right time during the movie?
Right.
When Johnny Knoxville's getting getting hit by a bull?
Right. When he
That
has
might be the best time.
50 years old.
You know?
But so had a couple drinks there, got to bed early, and then Saturday I hung out with my brother and his fiance and her parents and my family down in Rochester.
You guys get weird?
No, actually not. I was very tame, didn't drink a lot. Actually, we watched the Olympics. We watched the snowboarding one where everyone goes down the same run and does tricks.
Snowcross?
I watched 150 snowboarders for like 4 hours straight do the same thing, and it never got old. So
No, it's
Because you know
incredible
you can't
every
do
time.
that.
you want
shit.
to talk about February boss man? That's all it takes to get me like
Yeah.
in the zone. And then on Sunday we actually went. We were skating outside for like 5 hours?
Probably
'Cause
5
we
You
got
hours.
guys were going bar down the whole time.
Bar
Yeah,
down
everything
every
was
time,
bar
even
down.
though he
Yeah,
lost
right.
like
I saw
5
that.
pucks.
I also was trying to tip a puck from the other end of the ice, and I had just started skating like a month ago. I just started playing hockey. Unfortunately, grew up playing basketball, and I tipped the puck correctly, but it went directly into my knee, so I just instantly collapsed on the ice. But you know what? To take the positive, it still hurts like shit. Like going up the stairs is a struggle. And it's Thursday now, or Wednesday now. But I am the pitcher of last year's 122 and 1 10K softball team. Producer Jack knows what's up. And as pitcher, you have to accept the responsibility of taking fast-moving objects to the body. So I think that was just getting me in the spirit for softball coming up this summer.
Yeah.
Practice for
Love
sure.
that.
I need to get ready to take
Yeah.
some darts to the legs. So it was good though. Good weekend. What about you, Jake?
Well, I mean, I experienced kind of the same shit on Friday. Went to that Sunshine Factory. Had one. Well, not one too many drinks, but had that Surly Furious for $5.50. What a great fucking deal!
Yeah.
Then we went and see Jackass, and I didn't expect there to be a bar because I guess I'm not used to that every theater having a bar, but I guess I should be used to it because as soon as I walk through the gate entrance, I have a fucking big thing of popcorn, buttered to shit. Because I like buttered popcorn. I have like some cookie dough crunch bites things.
You mix it together with the popcorn
I should have.
next time.
But
have to.
Your
Every
candy
time.
right in
Yeah,
the popcorn.
You just dump it
Oh
right
yeah.
in
Yeah,
But-
that's a play.
but I see Jack over there Just come out with a beer. They have a bar. I'm like, oh shit.
I had 2 beers. I was like, Jake, they have alcohol
Shit.
here.
I buy like a couple beers, go in there, pound popcorn, drink beer, have a great time. Then I think I went out to fucking Cowboy Jack's downtown after that.
Oh boy.
With one of our fucking bloggers, Jack Johansson, one of our bloggers, Jack J, we call him.
How many Jacks do you have at
have a
this
million.
damn place?
4 Jacks and 5 Jakes.
Yeah, really?
It's pretty bad.
Is that a common
Yeah.
name to name a child?
I don't know if it is. I don't think it's a shitty name. No, it's not a shitty name. Calm down. Joke.
Go Gophers.
I did. Yeah, go Gophers.
Yeah,
I didn't go to Cowboy Jack's. I actually just played Guitar Hero by myself.
I
was like, I'm not going there.
Much better.
I went down there. It was kind of weird because like shit's going down in Minneapolis again. But I went down there and like it was kind of like a weird utopia, apocalyptic kind of feel in there because there wasn't as many people in there as there should be. There's still a lot of people in there, but it was fucking weird. Some women came up to us asking us to find their friend. I was a little drunk, and
Did you say I'm your friend?
I could have said that. I did not say that, but nothing happened that night. But it was a good time. It was just weird. It was fucking apocalyptic in there.
Did you hit the dance floor or no?
You don't need.
No, not that night. No,
Okay.
I was a little dumb with that. But the week before, I did.
Nice,
Heavily.
love that.
You don't need to find your friend. I'm right here.
I'll take care.
I'm right here.
I'm right here.
I'm
Don't
right
worry.
Please don't ever do that in that
Yeah,
voice.
one of the
again.
more creepier things
Don't
you could
worry
do is be
about
like, oh, your friends left you, huh? Not very good friends.
Not very.
I could
good.
be your
Oh,
friend.
not very good friends. What's your
However,
I
phone
could be your
number?
friend.
serial killer movie starts ever.
What's your
could be your
Instagram
friend.
handle? I'll follow you.
Follow you right fucking no. Well, there was a one. Well, by the way, one of the females I was talking to, a person of the opposite sex that I was talking to, I should say.
Thanks for clarifying.
She didn't believe that 10K existed.
Yeah?
She literally did not believe.
Hey.
Apparently, I was telling her about her podcast and shit because they're my buddy Jack, the other Jack. another
It sounds
Jack.
too good to be true, but it's not.
Well, our buddy, the other Jack, another Jack that's part of our company was wearing the company hat, the 10K hat, the Waggle hat. Shout out. And they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's our company." And she's like, "I don't believe you," but I somehow still got her number. The next day, she's like, I wake up to a text. Holy shit! Looked your stuff on Instagram. It's legit. I'm like, why do you think it was fake? I don't know. A lot of guys just lie at that bar. I'm like, well, who are you talking to at that bar? I mean, it is Cowboy Jack's downtown, so I get it. There's probably just a lot of dudes walking around with date rape drugs. But
That reminds me of my dad's story when he said he'd go to Vegas back in the day before like social media and Instagram. He's like, "Oh yeah, when I used to go to Vegas, I could be anyone I wanted. Yeah, I'm a professional
Entrepreneur?
surfer.
yeah, or an Olympic snowboarder.
I'm an alpine skier. You could say anything you want. Nowadays, it's a little. You can't really get away with it because they're just
social
like,
media.
Look
"Oh,
you
you
up.
do that? Okay.
Social media.
What's your Instagram then?" Mm-hmm.
I don't have Instagram. I'm off the grid.
I just post personal things on my Instagram.
I
Nothing
think social media is
work-related.
too intrusive,
Keep the two worlds separate.
too toxic.
Look at Jack just waiting to go.
I was gonna say I feel bad. Mate.
What's your comment?
Okay, Mace.
Bull Jack?
Mace. Let's hear Mace's weekend. Maybe he got up to something good here.
I mean, not too crazy of a weekend, just besides Saturday night. Me and some buddies went over to the Gopher game, hit up Blue Door Pub before, and had a couple
you were at
drinks.
the Gophers game. I was a little upset, but then I realized I had also been to a Gophers game earlier.
He was one of 16 people in the building, actually.
It was stuff.
We got third row. There's a ton of fans missing, so we got 8 people in the third row. But
What do you have to say about that? What's going on with Gopher hockey?
I mean, they've been in this situation since Barry Alvarez in fucking Wisconsin decided for us to go in the Big Ten. I blame Wisconsin. I blame Barry Alvarez and that fuck.
It's the Big Ten.
It's the Big Ten.
Sorry, Jack. Yeah.
But the Gophers are still awesome. They're
Stop.
superior. Go Gophers.
But before the game, we were at Blue Door and we had a couple of beers, and we are like, all right, if we're going to a Gopher game, we got to be a little more drunk than this. So we stopped at a liquor store before and then finished a handle in the parking lot. Just passed it around.
You did what I've wanted to do for decades: is get a trend started with tailgating hockey games. We need to
Yes.
start tailgating
Yes.
hockey games. I'm glad pioneers like Jack over here, Mace.
People are looking at us weird, but
A few too many games to do it. Like football, there's one a week, so like you can pull it off. But like hockey, I guess there's 2 games a week, so you could do it one of those games. But I agree, we should get tailgating in hockey. Why would you not?
I know there's a
the
lot of
cold?
Grand Forks people listening, and that would be the place to start it. They would be the early adopters, and maybe in 10 years you see every school across the country doing it. Translates to NHL. See the Wild start doing it. I don't know.
Oh, we joked about we should do that for a Wild game, just going into those parking lots or whatever, and just pull out a grill and start tailgating before a Wild game.
Yeah, cheeseburgers and liquor. Let's go.
Man, who cares? I don't care how cold it is. We're Minnesotans. We're Midwesterners. We know what's up. I mean, we could easily pull that off. As long as you drink enough, you're warm anyway.
We have the layers. We have enough alcohol. It's not going to be a problem.
No problem at all. I don't understand why you haven't started. What is it with the game of football claiming tailgating to be their thing? Is it because of the warm weather? I say bullshit, because people are tailgating for football games specifically at the University of Minnesota fucking the end of November.
Yeah.
No, this is all he talks about.
I'm saying this from a general unbiased perspective that Minnesota is one of the coldest states in the country. I'm using this as a case study.
How about North Dakota? They have a football team up there too.
Do people tailgate at the end of November up there?
Yeah,
well, then that's just another case study to look at to say, hey, we should be tailgating hockey in the weather. It doesn't matter.
Tailgates at UND from a student perspective are a little different, though. It's more of like, how much alcohol can I drink in the next 2 hours before I take a bus home and watch the SEC on TV?
I'm not going to be upset then.
Sorry to any former UND football players. I'm sorry, but that's how it goes.
You just offended them.
That's fine.
They can
I'm telling the
transfer.
truth.
They can come over to the University of Minnesota.
Some of them did. Some of our UND football players came from Minnesota. They're like, wasn't up to my competition level.
Well, maybe they weren't recruited by them.
Whatever.
Because they weren't. They didn't live up to the row the boat level, I should say.
Well, row the boat. How long is row the boat? It's
Been a
PJ
thing?
Fleck's thing. When I was going to college, row the boat was Western Michigan's thing, where PJ Fleck was at Western Michigan.
Yeah.
Or
I was actually pumped to see him go to Minnesota, because I have nothing against the Minnesota football team.
Well, apparently you did when we met you. And
I have nothing against. Well,
There was money. There was money. As you should know, as you're watching the Gopher game over there.
We put money on Michigan to win that football game, which they did. So we were decked out in Michigan gear. But I have nothing against the Minnesota football program. Really, nothing personal against the hockey program. Just business.
It's just business.
Just business.
So
Also,
outside of business, you can get along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
just ask Justin Kloos. We're best buddies now.
Justin Kloos, he's a Gopher guy.
Before
Yes.
PJ Fleck, row the boat was just a command that coaches at Harvard yelled at the rowing team, who was all their parents paid for them to be on the team.
The Finkelhauser twins who came.
The guys who allegedly came up with Facebook.
That's not actually their name, though. Is it?
Winklevoss.
There,
Winklevoss.
nice.
Yep,
You're smart.
The Winklevoss.
Winklevoss.
Just 2 6'4" guys with 3% body fat, 220, the best looking guys.
Those guys were made in the lab.
Winklevoss.
They're clones or something.
Yeah, those guys were made
genetically
All right,
modified.
let's move on. Let's move on to the predictions here.
Okay.
Let's not go over how last week's
let's do it
predictions
quick.
went.
Everybody did terrible, and I guessed North Dakota to
Dakota.
win and tie. I went 4-0. I'm an elite hockey mind.
Nope.
So obviously,
Are the Gophers?
No.
no.
I'm not even gonna acknowledge Olson saying that, because it was a down week for me. I thought I had it right, but whatever. So this is the first time we've had 2 guests on, and we have the guests. So Jake and Jack, they are going to kind of debate what they want to take on their series, and then we're going to take the middle ground, whatever they think. They're going to be one sole proprietor.
Yeah, they're in one entity.
One entity. From
We
guys
are
doing
one.
business
Yeah.
standpoint.
Yeah.
I'd also like to throw out a
are-
disclaimer.
They are, in
They're a
fact, one.
partnership.
They share the same room here at the 10K house.
Yes.
They sleep in the same bed.
No, we have bunk beds.
We're everything short of married.
Okay, so
Domestic partnership.
It's for tax reasons.
strictly for the 1098.
Something.
Right.
Something.
The
I don't know.
IRS thing.
Whatever the IRS.
But anyways,
forces.
our first series, we're keeping it in NCHC, obviously, because the NCHC, no biased at all. None of it. We played in the NCHC, but it has the best matchups, so we have to pick some games from it. We've got Western Michigan at St. Cloud, number 3 versus number 8 in the pairwise.
SCSU is number 3.
No, they're
No,
eight.
Western.
Oh,
is
shit.
three.
Western's number
Western
3.
Michigan's the dominant.
So
Row the boat.
SCSU, but SCSU's they're without their head coach, their best defenseman, their best forward.
Aight.
They're a little short-handed, but it's in St. Cloud on an Olympic rink. We'll predict here. I'm going to start us off.
All right.
Now, typically, I love Western Michigan this year. I would have typically picked them to sweep, but I'm gonna pick the split because there's no way St. Cloud they're gonna bounce back. You know, they lost that game against they lost 2 games against Denver, I think, last week and got swept against Denver. It's not gonna happen again. They're gonna split. So
I go Western sweep.
Ooh. Wow, that was confident right there.
Quick and clean.
Yeah.
Quick and clean. Well,
All right.
we'll
Quick
check.
disclaimer: we're not college hockey minds, so if you listen and you're
Well, I am.
Yeah, what do you watch? Like 2 games a year? No, we have
just
a history
Gophers.
with the St. Cloud State fan base. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but I'm going clean sweep with Western.
Doing clean sweep. So my realistic mind is a split. But you know, fuck it. Fuck St. Cloud, Western Michigan, PJ's ex school, row the boat. They're a solid school. We're going clean sweep. Western Michigan Broncos.
Wow,
Let's go.
boy,
Michigan,
I like
clean
those
sweep.
have
picks.
you.
Clean
I
sweep.
like those
Clean
picks.
sweep.
Clean
Love
fucking
that.
sweep. Let's go.
All right, Jacko.
Clean sweep.
I want to go Western because they're hot right now, but I'm going split because I think St. Cloud's going to get one. And
No.
So we're splitting the split right now.
So they
Husky
went-
women,
splitting
baby.
the room.
Husky women.
What?
That's the
Husky
chant.
women.
That's the
chant.
chirp. That's the chirp.
Husky
That's the
women.
chirp that always says Husky women.
Husky women.
But you know what? Everyone,
catchy.
Everyone needs some loving. Even the Husky women.
Even the heavy, even the big women. You know, the chubbies.
I don't know what that's
Okay,
like.
we got another.
I've only
We got another
hugged a girl.
powerhouse. We got another powerhouse matchup here. The Duluth Bulldogs at Denver.
Ooh.
You want me?
I'll start us
Denvy?
You want to start again? Okay.
I'll start us off. Denver just swept. God, I'm gonna go Denver sweep.
Wow.
They're nasty.
Yeah, Denver is very good.
They're nasty.
You know, I look back, Duluth boy, Duluth didn't want me.
There's some bad blood there.
Some bad blood, so some
I was
bias.
too slow to go there. But I'm going to go split.
Trevor, don't say that about yourself. You're a great
Come on,
skater.
Trever.
No, I'm slow in the head, not. I couldn't
Wait,
get
what?
in.
No,
I
he's
couldn't
Slow
get
in the head?
Oh,
No.
oh.
We were talking about his head.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
his
slow in the
brain.
head. Couldn't get in.
His brain's
No,
broken.
he was a really good skater.
You did the bit. He was a great skater. Could have been better on
Oh, come on, give him a chance. Boo, get off the stage, you fucking suck. Oh, come on, give him a chance.
hey, yeah, stop.
Come on.
All right,
Let's go.
Jake, what's our pick?
So Denvy and UMD.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. I'm probably going to go split.
I like split too.
I don't think either or is going to sweep. I think they're both, colliding very competitive hockey teams. Neither of the teams are going to let themselves lose both games.
I like that.
So
This is a very educated.
I was
These
no,
guys watch a
yeah.
lot.
Hey,
We're
no,
college hockey
guys.
minds.
Yeah.
They
Go
both
Gophers.
they both play at a very high level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I played.
They have in
They
the past.
both have D1 hockey players.
Right.
I was a
They do.
goalie
What are you
for the
talking about
intramural teams at the University of Minnesota. That is the third in command behind
Everyone's gonna listen to this and be like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" Never have him on ever
behind the
again.
Division One
So
team, the club
annoying.
team. I was third in command.
He's wearing a Gophers
Division one
windbreaker in the
club.
middle of.
Intramurals.
We were 8th in intramural, so that makes me like 11.
No, yeah, we no. We weren't that great at intramurals. So I was probably the actually 8th or 9th or 10th.
Okay, what the fuck
Okay.
are you talking about? What's
so
our
you guys
pick
are going
here?
Well,
split.
it's a split.
Yeah.
Split. Okay,
Split.
we're going split.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Good lord.
Jacko,
I'm just trying to establish my
Save us.
credibility.
You know, both teams are pretty hot. I mean, nothing bad about either of them. But Denver's number 2 right now in the rankings, and I think the Mile High City is going to get to Duluth. So I'm going Denver sweep.
Let's go.
Damn.
All
I
right.
have nothing against Duluth. By
gotta-
the way.
That's
We
gonna
have a-
suck when
we
I was
have a-
gonna
Duluth
say
wins
we
on
almost
Friday.
have like 2 different
Sorry,
teams
Beach.
within the teams.
Yeah, we have a split room right now.
Beach is
Well,
gonna be pissed.
Here's another fun one. Our next series, the Gophers go to
I'm
Ohio
gonna walk
State.
out right now.
The Gophers go to Ohio State. I wonder what Kirky's gonna pick here.
Perky.
Yeah.
He's not in the room. He's a Michigan State guy.
Well, this would require us to agree.
Okay,
Or you go complete
Go green.
opposites.
Go green. Go
I'm
green.
gonna go here.
What?
No.
Oh.
I'm waiting for Gage to go.
Come on, Gage.
I mean, Ohio State's rolling right now. Minnesota's missing their 2 best players, and their goalie signed with the NHL.
Because he's an elite goaltender.
Obviously, you just signed with the NHL.
Obviously.
They just pulled up their intramural goalie. So imagine
Nothing against
you
the Gophs.
played
I'm
Division
going
One
He
Ohio
wasn't even good
State.
enough for that position.
Ohio State Buckeyes sweep.
That's-
How you doing, Ezekiel Elliott coming to town, partying with the team after.
Hey, so Bull Jack's recording wins and losses on this. Already put that as a loss. No way in hell they're sweeping the Gophers. Not gonna happen, folks. Not gonna happen.
mark
I'm
that
personally gonna go split. I think both teams are solid. Yes, Minnesota's missing some guys. I think they split at Ohio State.
So, due to the fact that it's going to be this really annoying back and forth that I don't personally want to put up with, I'm going to say go for sweep.
Okay.
Strictly for
like
stress
that.
reasons.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to deal with
I
it.
thought you were gonna say Ohio State sweep and then like compromise in the middle of Ohio State split. But I'll take Gopher sweep any day.
Just so you
like
guys
that.
know, before you solidify your answer, every single guest, if you guys lose, if the guests lose, every single guest has to do the task.
Yeah.
The
What's
task.
the task?
The consequence we decide on.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So there's a full record, and if the guest is the last one, every single one of the guests have to record them doing the task.
Well, then go for sweep. Confidence.
Do you stay with Gopher Sweep?
Confidence? I mean, okay,
your partner
so
says confidence.
isn't Ohio State not even ranked?
No,
They're both. It's
they're
9 and
rolling.
10.
9 and
Oh.
10.
Ohio State's good. Ohio
I
State's
thought
good.
Minnesota was 7.
7-11? No.
Ohio State's 10.
Okay.
7 to 10. Fuck. The task. What the fuck is
We
the
haven't decided
I haven't
yet.
decided. There's a
Okay,
couple
so there is
options.
no
But there's
there
a
is no
list.
task.
There's a
but-
couple options. You know, you do the polar plunge, jump in Lake Superior, or you go to an artist
And
and
you get a
you
naked
You
portrait.
pose
Oh.
nude, laying there with an apple, maybe,
Well, you know,
and you let them paint.
Draw me
you
like-
you
draw
let
me
them
like
paint
the
a
others,
portrait
Jack.
for 2 hours of you.
yeah, you know that should probably already exist of me, anyways. At this point, as a leader, I'll stick with it. I'll
right.
stick with
Yeah.
it. I'll stick with the
Go for
sweep.
sweep.
Fuck
I
the
like
stick with the
Buckeyes.
sweep.
Fuck
Let's go.
OH. Fuck and fuck IO.
You know, after seeing the Gophers play at home this weekend, I'm going split because even though Ohio State's a little higher in the rankings and they're at home, I think the Gophers look pretty strong without 12 guys. I mean,
Then
I was
why not
pretty
go
I
surprised.
like that. I like
Why
that
not go sweep?
because it's college hockey.
Gets college hockey with a W.
College, yeah.
College.
Yeah.
College
the
hockey.
Bucci Grass College.
Yeah.
College.
Yep.
CAWLIDG.
Why do you wear a windbreaker in February?
Because it's
such a
wearing,
weird
because it's
play.
look at the
He
M
could
on it.
he could have an interview with the Vikings at any moment.
He wears that
could.
6 days a week.
I could.
I live with him now. He wears it
I don't,
6
I don't
days a
know.
week.
I don't know why you say this. I've actually haven't wore this very often in the last few months.
That's not true.
I would. If
You're lying. You're
No,
lying to our
if
face.
there was a thing, I've worn a lot of my Tanner Morgan sweatshirt, which isn't any better, or my Soda Stick sweatshirt. I actually maybe have wore this maybe 5 days in the last 2 months.
That's not true.
We'll agree to disagree.
I can agree. I mean in the past is
Yeah,
all
he's
I
calling
wore.
cap.
I've wore this maybe not very much in the last
Cap.
month or two.
All right.
Cap.
I really haven't.
Cap.
All right, let's get to the last one.
I'm actually disappointed that I
Okay,
haven't.
the last series, the Grinder series, the St. Thomas Tommies travel out to Alaska.
Sweep against the Thomas.
Early call. Didn't even let
Do you
Gage
agree?
finish.
Do you want to start or?
Yeah, let's let
He
them
went-
start.
who are they
went
playing?
No,
sweep.
Jake,
Alaska.
listen to
They went
what they're.
Alaska
Listen
sweep.
to, We're not experts. They are here to tell us.
You guys
before
can
we
go
pick.
first.
No, you guys start.
No, you decided to cut them
wait,
off.
Wait, so how is Alaska this year?
Well, they beat the Gophers at home.
Sweep.
I like it. I know. I mean, that's actually a logical pick.
Do you agree or?
See, Jake, we needed to let them go first. Now we have to. Now we're on the spot.
It's a sweep. The Tommies
are pretty bad. We did go to Hockey Day, Minnesota. That was
up to
one
their
of the
hype.
worst displays of the game I've ever seen.
They're not
personally.
winning. They're
Well,
not
let's
winning a game.
We like the Tommies here. They're just. It's their first year
Right,
D1,
right.
so they got some growing pains to go through. But
I like them being in D1, but yeah, obviously they're having some issues.
If
right now.
they need an assistant coach, I'd do it. That's all I'm saying.
Really,
Wow.
I'd assistant coach the Tommies for sure.
really,
yeah, I'm
I think
sure
he'd be a hell of a
we
coach.
all would. Rico's not going to pick you.
Rico.
I don't know. I think Rico likes my game. I feel like I fit into Rico's.
Is that the head coach's name? Rico.
Yeah, Rico Blasi's a
Rico
10.
Blasi.
He's an absolute
coach-
smoke.
He's a 10? He's
So
a 10
he's a
of
man
a
smoke.
guy. He's a guy smoke.
So Rico
Okay.
Blasi, that coaches the Tommies now, he coached Miami when we were playing.
Of Ohio.
Of Ohio.
Let's clarify that.
Yeah,
It's
ask
not the
ask
Hurricanes.
Rico
Rico
how
Slavic.
Trevor was against Miami of Ohio.
Okay.
Miami, the U
Yeah,
of Ohio.
one of the coolest schools
Ben
ever.
Roethlisberger.
Rico, text me.
Yes.
Yeah, that is where he went.
There it is.
So are you
Yeah,
gonna
I'll go sweep.
sweep? All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go split.
Nope.
I'm going.
Nope.
I'm going split too.
Love
I like the Tommies. I want them to pull one out.
Yeah.
They're gonna go out to Alaska and fucking pull it together.
See, I'd like them to, but it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Just not. Tommy's just look terrible against Mankato. Not going to happen.
Mankato's a top 3 team in the country.
What are you doing?
Hey, I'm
Can we breathalyze this guy, dude? He's fucked
being
up.
empathetic right now, like being very stern.
I like it.
They got their asses kicked at Mankato.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
against like the best team in the.
Right,
You guys-
but if you're
you
a
guys
competitive hockey team, you lose
Hopefully
4-3.
Hopefully the Tommies. Rico will play this episode for the Tommies.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like, "Fuck."
Listen
this
to
guy.
these squares.
Jake, Kirk, Cousins, Bringgold.
Motherfucker.
Guy's wearing a windbreaker in February. What a
Yeah.
beta.
Hey, we're inside.
Trevor
It's at-
Olson
what is it,
sounds kinda
25
smart,
degrees? I was walking outside in this. It was perfect. It was actually perfect.
Look at these two bozos. They think we're going to get swept. Trevor Olson's kind of smart, but
Minnesota. Can I defend myself here?
Could be
Minnesota.
an assistant coach. Shut up.
where do I send my resume? What's that?
Minnesota, when you hit negative temps for weeks on end, and then it hits in the 20s, and you walk outside with a windbreaker, it's perfect. I felt fine today walking outside.
It is.
I felt perfectly fine.
I would say that.
Maybe that's just my
Are
personal.
you just
preference.
walking to the car and then into the office?
Well, into
or-
a store, but I mean, like I did park. I went to Target briefly, and I did park in the back, and I was walking outside for a good couple minutes, and I was just fine.
Fucking whole minute and a half.
But I mean, like I wasn't cold.
Can
It
we
was
get
fine.
Jacko's final? We need the final here.
Jacko?
You know, I'm gonna be bold this week. I think Peter Tomey's gonna be absolutely dancing between the pipes. I'm going Tommy sweep.
Let's
Oh,
go.
that.
Let's
Love
go.
that.
That is a
dropper.
loss.
Huge fan. Huge fan.
But Jake's point did bring up, when you're living in Minnesota, 40 degrees in the springtime
Short weather.
is basically 70 degrees.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
40
it feels
degrees
good.
40 degrees in fall is negative 10.
yes.
Well, see, right now outside it's dark out. This might be a little cold for a windbreaker, but earlier, like it was perfect. I felt great.
Yeah.
If I was wearing a winter jacket, I'd be sweating.
Oh,
That's just Minnesota
wait.
or Midwest or North Dakota, I should say. You're trying to tap that bottom out that bottle, and it's not happening.
You just did it.
Well, no, he was like trying to get like last drops out.
Every drop matters.
Every drop matters.
She gone.
She
He gone.
Okay, so we got through our predictions of the slate.
barely. Yeah.
We'll see how
Barely.
we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm sure I'll go 4-0 like always, but
I can't wait till Gage has to do.
let's
whatever
get
we
into
decide.
our guests a little bit here. We owe them a lot for hosting us, putting us on, starting what they did, 10K takes. It's actually pretty incredible. We'll bring it down a little bit, stop the joking for a little bit. You guys did something pretty cool. You started 10K Takes Media. How did this start? Like you guys didn't necessarily know each other before college. So Jack and Jake, they're friends with Wags, who kind of brought you guys together, and you three kind of started this whole thing. We miss Wags here. Wish he was here. But how did you guys start? What was the idea? You just started with a podcast, and then give us a little background of, what you guys were thinking creating this, where you thought it'd go when you started.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jack, tell the origin.
Yeah, so, it all actually started. I graduated from UND, lived in Grand Forks up until the summer after I graduated. I got to be a quote unquote townie for a little bit, which was a lot of fun. No, it was some of the best months of my life.
I've been up there. It's fun
being a
town.
townie for like 3 months, not being a student. But I came back, went to the Minnesota State Fair with some buddies, and I was drinking some beers, and I was looking at kind of the media scene. I see a lot of these like KR11, KSTP types. I'm not discrediting them. A K fan who we are now affiliated with, 10K. But I just didn't notice like kind of any guys our age just shooting the shit, talking about lives, not at the state fair specifically, but swearing, being outside of the FCC,
authentic,
and being able to just be them true selves. So I'm like, Minnesota's kind of missing that. And in a world where Barstool, we get compared a lot, Barstool, has kind of led the charge on just authentic media. I was like, well, they're not covering anything out here. Let's give a run at that. There's a huge entrepreneurship is all about gaps, seeing gaps in the market. So I saw a huge gap where, someone like me who loves to be themselves and is a little bit of a weird person, but in a funny way, is like, let's fill that gap. So built a website, kind of just like started writing blogs by myself. I think the first one was Randy Dobnek looks like a guy who owns 3 motorcycles minimum. He's the Twins pitcher with the handlebar. Guy who had a 5-star Uber rating. Yep. So like this has always been stuff in my brain, but it was finally fun to put it on paper. And then, on the web. And then I'm like, well, I just built the site myself. 10,000 takes is like the best name I could come up with. And I reached out to Wags, who was another founder along with Jake. And I said, hey, I know you and Jake kind of did some media stuff around the Twin Cities before. I was, wondering if you guys, you and that guy you did the thing with, I didn't know Jake's name at the time, wanted to join my thing, 10,000 takes. And I reached out to like 3 or 4 guys at UND who I went to college with to help me out build this venture. Boole Jack being one of them from Kappa Sigma, shout out. And so Wags was my roommate freshman year, and he was the first person I brought in. Jake, he said, I know this guy from high school who is a big Gopher fan.
That's an understatement.
2 years later.
Understatement of the year.
Yeah, but so it just started with the blog. It was us just kind of we all were in different stages of life. We were all just kind of writing funny articles and just being whatever, and eventually it led to a podcast, the Minnesota Rundown, which does still exist, even though it's a bit as like our most popular show that's on the radio now. But I'll let you take over, Jake. I mean, obviously we started recording the Rundown, but I guess kind of what was your experience being brought in?
Well, yeah, I just remember being at my stupid corporate job that I'm still at, getting a text from my buddy Zane. Do you want to come on to this blog and cover the Gophers? I'm like, hell yeah.
We needed a Gopher guy.
Yeah. We needed a Gopher guy.
Found the right one.
Well, because at first it was like just blog, and we needed a person to cover each team, but we didn't want to be serious. Like it was like a
parody,
serious
like
parody, authentic. Because I remember like I got like a group message with you, Jack, and like Zane was kind of briefly telling me what we're trying to do. I'm like, yeah, we haven't fucking had that in Minnesota, and we're the state that should have that, because we're always bitching about
There's
stuff.
comedy everywhere.
Yeah.
Our sports are a total disaster.
I remember it was funny because like I created like a WordPress. You probably could find it still. It's really cringy, but I think that spring, believe it or not, I made like a blog called like Jake's Takes. And I had like,
I haven't heard of this.
No, I had like 4 or 5 blogs in there, and I was just really upset about like the Wild, and I had like a blog in there about the Minnesota Gophers, and it was very like unfiltered. I was kind of serious because I was still on my journalist bit, from the U of M, but I was swearing in there and shit. And I remember thinking to myself, ironically, then I'm like, there really isn't actually anything in Minnesota like just everybody's too serious. Because I think I got sick of listening and hearing a lot of serious shit. But I'm like, I kind of ended that like in the summer. I'm like, okay. And then that thing came along when you brought that. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird because like I didn't think of the same exact thing that you thought of, but I was thinking of the ideas of there's nothing like just like no media in Minnesota that's like thinking authentically, unfiltered, just getting pissed off. Because I think I was pissed off at like a call on a game that I thought flubbed the Gophers win or loss or something. And I was pissed off and wrote like a fucking angry article. And I remember thinking as I was writing, I'm like, oh, there's nothing like this. It's all serious. Like, oh, well, Gophers lose, Gophers win, all this bullshit, serious crap. So when I was brought onto that, I'm like, okay, this is awesome. We can be authentic, be our authentic selves. Started that Minnesota Rundown podcast. The first one's still on our YouTube. Horrendous.
Rough.
Horrendous.
Really bad.
Horrendous.
We bring on new podcasts like you guys and the JJ twins, and they're, you know, like nervous at first. They're like, I know we're rocky, but we'll get there. I'm like, no, you don't know what bad is. Go back on YouTube, 10,000 takes, watch the first everything we posted, the Minnesota Rundown. I think it was like 9/13/2019.
2019,
before the
yes.
fucking world ended, basically.
Pandemic.
And it's hilarious. I think I'm in my parents' storage closet, and we're on Skype, and it's awful. It's really bad.
I was
But-
in my room at my parents'
yeah, every
house,
time
I
he
swear.
swore, he had to like lower his voice.
Yeah.
I was like worried that
Still doing that
24
shit.
years old.
We've talked about it on this show before, just because we're has-beens. We touch on a little bit of like, you know, you play sports or you're the student or just a kid before, and then you get in this work life. Like, you guys went out and did something, you know, like you get jobs, but you started something, and you obviously didn't care what people thought
Hell no.
when you started,
Fuck
you
that.
know, because no one else is doing it. So when you guys started, no one else is doing it. So they think like, who are these idiots? Like,
Yeah.
who wants to listen to a couple of guys who don't know anything about any of these sports? Who wants to listen to what they have to say about the sport? Well, there's people out there that do.
I think the ironic thing is that we're like the opposite of has-beens in the sense that we were like nobody. Like Jake, Zane, and I admittedly were not popular in high school. Like almost use the word outcasts. Like
Yeah.
we were
Degens.
like no one, like we had friends, but you know, we weren't popular ever at any stage of the road. We never stuck out per se. And like this was kind of like our calling, and we just kind of did it. And now we're meeting people. We're friends with pro athletes and people
Yeah.
in media and in the NFL and whatever. And it's like, it's just kind of funny because we were all admittedly bad at sports. We
Yeah.
like a lot of our content focuses around us trying to be like athletic.
Yeah.
And it's very like, we actually try and we're not very good, you know, like, so it's just funny that this was kind of like our road to people, you know, this was like our thing, I guess.
But that's why we all liked you guys at the start when we met you in that basement of Blarney's and continued it on. But we liked you guys just because, like, it's one thing to be someone or do something that people enjoy and listen to or whatever, and then do something, and then it's another thing to be, you know, like you said, you guys were nobody before, and then you start this thing not caring what anyone thinks.
No.
And you just start doing it. And I'm sure there's a lot of, you know, critiques and people saying you guys are dumb when you start this.
Oh yeah.
And now, I mean, no one can say that because, like, you have plenty of followers, you have a following, you have a group of people, you basically have a company. I mean, now it's just so cool, and that's why I liked you guys at the start, because I knew that you guys were just, you're doing whatever you fucking want. You don't care what people think. Like that's just so cool. And
Yeah.
you guys should tell fucking girls that at the bar, because
No, it
girls
does, like,
love that shit when you're trying to wheel them. Like, I
Well,
don't give
apparently,
a fuck.
it does
like I
help.
mentioned earlier, some people don't even believe that we do it. You know, like that one woman didn't even believe that this existed when I told her about it. But
It's crazy. So like it started as that, you know, the Minnesota Rundown, the blog or whatever, no one paid attention, and no one really paid attention for like a year. I don't know why.
maybe
Especially when
about a
COVID
year.
hit, we were nowhere near popular then. No one cared, and I don't know how we didn't quit when like there were no sports to even talk about. Like we talked about Tiger King and shit, Korean baseball. We like go to strip clubs.
Ichiro.
You go to like strip clubs when they open back up, and we're sitting there watching Korean baseball. Like that's like what we talked about, and it got us through somehow. But you fast forward to like a year and a half later, and now you guys are one of 5 awesome podcasts under us. We have a fleet of bloggers who daily blog every day. Like total social media followers like over 100K. It's partnerships with the Wild, soon the Twins, the Vikings, and it's just like it really just backs up the fact that if you just keep going at something and you work hard enough and like you constantly try to improve, like stuff will happen. Like you'll figure it out.
Something's eventually going to happen. You're going to learn from it. If you learn from your mistakes and continually try to get better at what you're doing, stuff's going to happen. It is what it is.
And being yourself too. Like I've learned more in the last year than anything else. Is like being yourself is the key to everything in life. Yeah. People can tell from like a networking perspective as well as just from like for us doing content. When people can tell you're being yourself, that's when like not like I know we were being funny and stuff, but like girls, but then also just like making connections. Like when it's an attractive feature is like being yourself. So I've learned more than anything, even if you're weird, like as fucking weird as we are.
Oh yeah, and I'm very weird myself.
You've already seen it.
You guys are talking to a couple weird motherfuckers.
Right. That's why you're in the
you
brand,
don't have to, dude. That's what I fucking lived on. Like, when I went to the bars in North Dakota, like, I didn't play the UND hockey play. I was Travis Larson. I was striker for the men's soccer team. That's how I. That's how I introduced myself to people. We didn't even have a soccer team. They're like, "Oh, cool." I'm like, "Yeah, dude."
You were the behind the plate ump for the baseball teams.
Oh
calling strike threes.
Oh
yeah. Olson and I used to go to the base. Olson, Tucker Pullman, Denny Chartron, Landon Hayes, Yana would be there with us.
Yep.
We'd go to a bar. We'd literally just text each other, let's go to a bar and just call strike 3 calls. So we'd get like 3-4 beers in us, and then all of us would just go through our strike 3 calls, just standing up.
I go,
Every go. Tucker always had the best ones. He'd back up like,
he'd do like twinkle toes, and then he'd go, And Tucker's like the quiet kid, and he's honest to God, he's 28 going on 52. Like he loves like doing house projects and shit. But they're in the basement of O'Reilly's in Grand Forks, North Dakota. There was 0 rules. We'd get Tucker a few beers, and all of a sudden he'd be hollering out his strike 3 call, and that was honest to God the best part of our nights. It was fucking hilarious.
We'd look up strike 3 calls from umps on YouTube. Like, this is a good one right here. Like, these guys got
doing
it going
that shit
on.
in public though is so funny. Like. Hockey Day, Minnesota, Jake and I were just there a few weeks ago. I was dressed as a hot dog, and he was wearing like aviators, hockey gloves, and like a Wild sweatshirt. And 99% of people would not do that. They'd be like, I don't have the balls to look like an ass like that, whatever. But we just embrace it.
But good on you guys, because like there are so many people in the world, they're like, God, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know what people think. Even I touched on it in our episode last week. Like, you're just worried about what other people think. I don't know. It's fucking weird because I cut my hair into a fucking cul-de-sac and when I cut my hair into a cul-de-sac and I went to class and sat front row without a hat on. People are like, who
mad
the
respect.
fuck is this guy?
Right.
It's 'cause
this guy's confident in his own body.
I think it all boils down to us all being kind of attention whores. We just want attention.
I want to be the absolute center of attention. But not in a weird way, but like a funny way.
But you're talking about like dressing up, doing that weird shit in public. That's why I liked you guys. So you guys show up to us in Barney's, and Jake's dressed as fucking Mike Hawk, onside kicking coach of the Minnesota
wearing
Gophers.
Wearing the same windbreaker.
Wearing the windbreaker,
and
the headset, the tie, walking around like, Mike Hawk, which people might not understand what that means,
and
but it's a synonym for my cock.
M-Y cock.
If you didn't get that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael short. His friends call him Mike though.
Yeah. Michael Hawk, Mike Hawk.
But that stuff is so good. We always used to say, like, what are your best nights when you like go out on the town or like do anything? It's when you dress in a fucking costume.
Dude.
You don't feel like yourself. You're like you're a character.
You're out there as a character. You're not yourself.
No, it's the best. The Halloween parties were always the best.
Yeah.
I was always a onesie guy. What do you like? What was your go-to, like your number one Halloween costume?
So freshman and sophomore year, I was Dr. Shots. So I had the white lab coat on, and then I had the syringes full of liquor. You'd be like, open up, like fucking. repeat, like whatever. And then that got old, and I ended up losing all the syringes. So I was just kind of like in a white lab coat, which was, there's so many like nursing majors and doctors at UND. They're like, you're a fucking fraud. I'm like, I know, I'm a business major. But damn, what did I dress up as the last few years? I was probably the idiot who wore like a jersey, and I was like, I play for the Wild.
Yeah.
That's probably what I did. But then eventually, when I became like an adult, I moved back to the cities. I bought the hot dog outfit, and I wore that out, and that just always played. So now it's like my prized possession. Like I'll probably be asked to put in my casket wearing the hot dog outfit, because I just think there's nothing better.
That plays some of those Halloween costumes. They really hit. Mm-hmm. And you wear them for one Halloween, and you're like, you know what? I'm probably gonna wear this in January too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then you get it, and then it goes well in January, and then you're like, I'll probably pull it out in March.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
this one single night in March, I'll fucking be a hot dog at the bar. Who gives a fuck?
So forever, I actually did not like ever wear a costume. Like I think I wore a costume out through like high school, but then in like college, like I was just like a nonconformist. I was like a nonconformist. Oh shit!
Do we have to pause this?
I keep hearing USB in and USB out sounds on the computer, but I think we're good.
We're good.
But no, I was like a nonconformist. Like I didn't dress up as anything just because I didn't want to either. I was like working a lot because I was working with Gopher Athletics, go Gophers, and I would just show up, but I would pull like the gym.
That's your partner.
I'd pull like the gym bit from The Office. I'd be like, oh well, I'm Jake from State Farm. But I wouldn't actually be wearing anything red or anything. I'm like, well, my name's Jake. I'm Jake from State. I wouldn't wear anything. I just didn't know what to wear.
Yeah,
I just show up. I'd show up late to shit and all that. But then in 2019, I dressed up as PJ Fleck. My cock wasn't born yet, but I dressed up as PJ Fleck, and that was fucking crazy. And then I think then that fucking spring we went up to Mardi Gras thing. It was like probably a month before the pandemic everything went to shit. It was like February of 2020. Went to a Mardi Gras thing where you're supposed to dress up like you're going to Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
I dressed up like PJ.
No one else in Minneapolis showed up to that.
Yeah.
We were like the only people at that pub crawl.
There were some weird people there, but yeah, I was dressed up in the PJ getup wearing the same Gopher polo.
I had all these beads ready, and I just had to show everyone my tits because no one else.
Yeah.
What a disaster.
It was just some
Gotta
strange
get those
people
beads,
out there.
Show me your tits.
Exactly.
Mardi Gras.
There was no women there.
You're just walking around WeFest trying to find girls with beads on their neck. Like, are you wearing beads? They're like, hey, I got beads if you show me your titties.
Yeah.
Right.
You can take this bead necklace and wear it around your neck. All you have to do is show me your titties.
Just show me something.
And just be like, and I don't want to point out the fact that I paid 35 cents per necklace.
Yeah, no. I didn't pay anything for these. It's not like I'm paying to see tits.
Anyway.
But I am for 35 cents.
All right.
Jake, the Mike Hawk thing was, when did that really come to fruition? I don't really remember.
I don't know. I think that was like fall of 2020 because I'd always dress up like PJ and be like this crazy drunk PJ. And I think we just like, what if we had like some weird dude? I don't even know what day it was.
I think it's eventually because someone was like, you don't look anything like PJ.
I know, because you need to shave your head.
Right.
Yeah.
We're like, I'm not fucking shaving my head. I'm like, I'm the onside kicking
He'd sit
coach.
there at the bar. Remember when you had the laminated playbook?
Yeah.
He'd sit there blacked out at the bar, like calling plays and like just yelling into the void, and all these people are just staring at him from around the, like you're in the middle of Sally's.
Yeah.
Just screaming. He's got this laminated playbook, and I don't even, what was on the playbook? There were words on it.
It was actual like Google image. I Google imaged a playbook, and it was actual plays. And I had no idea what was on it. I think that was like in 2019 after the Wisconsin game, college game day, and we were at the bar, and then someone was like, "Hey, we're gonna go talk to some women." I'm like, yeah, here's the play. So we're gonna go up to the left, to the right, over those two blondes over there. We're gonna go out. I was acting like I was calling a play.
Covering his face.
Mike Cock wasn't born then, but it was
so
PJ.
For substance for the listeners, Jake dresses up as a Gopher football coach.
Well, I essentially dressed up like
days.
PJ Fleck.
Yeah.
You look like PJ Fleck.
But you just dressed up as a football coach,
Yeah.
wearing Gopher gear. So like, you look like a Gopher football coach.
Yes.
And you walk around the bars. At some point, you went from PJ
to Mike Hawk.
At some point, it turned into Mike Hawk. But it's just a hilarious bit seeing you walk around bars with the headset on and the microphone up front too. It's not only the headset. It's not like you're wearing a pair of Beats. It's got the mic. It's got the microphone up front, like he's talking to the guys upstairs. Like, what are you seeing? You know, like. You should have had it. You should have had like a radio communication with guys in the upstairs, like looking down, like, there's a couple girls bottom left.
Well,
not talking to anyone right now.
Bottom left, not talking to the other.
Heads seem to be on a swivel. Maybe looking for someone.
Not uptight.
Yeah.
Well,
drinking rum and coke.
Drinking rum and coke. So, but no, I've actually already lost like 2 or 3 headsets since I played that bit. Like I've lost one. I lost at the bar. Someone took it from me at the frat at the U a couple years ago. I said they can have it, and they ran off with it.
You should have at least autographed it before.
I maybe should have. There's been 2. There's like 2 or 3 headsets that are.
It should have just been my MY and then a picture of a horn on it.
Yeah.
Mike Cock.
Mike Cock. One was left at a female's house.
Oh,
2019.
Yeah, just cuddle sesh.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Subtle brag. Yeah, I left one of the females.
Do it. So, yeah.
Congrats on the sex, Kurt.
I don't know what it's like when a bunch of like women live together, but they probably do like show off all the things that they find from the guys they sleep with. She walks out of her room the next morning. It's a fucking Xbox headset. Like, well. Like,
yeah.
And then everyone's also like, who were you with last night? I have no idea. Some guy who likes playing
his
video
name.
games.
I think his name was Mike.
Then I proceeded actually up to North Dakota.
Jake walks up. Hey, Jack, how's it going? I don't know who that guy is. Fucking
yeah. I'm like
shooing him away. Get the fuck out of here.
So we have Mike Cock.
Mike Cock.
Yeah, Mike Hawk.
Mike
Hawk.
Mike Hawk.
Kirk Cousins, your Kirk Cousins bit. We have Boner.
Yep,
the
Minnesota Wild
slap
shot
shot
specialist, Robert Boner.
Yep.
Bobby Boner.
His friends call him Bo, so Boner.
I yelled that
Robert
very loud
Ner,
at the restaurant the other
Bobby
night.
Ner.
Yep, Bobby Ner.
Bobby Nerd.
He was,
What's funny is the other night we were at the Sunshine Factory, Great Deals in Plymouth, local restaurant, and some lady came up to our table. I'm like, this doesn't look like a waitress. She's not wearing a uniform. She recognized us. And I'm like, yeah, this guy plays Boner. And I'm not drunk or anything. I'm just playing this off as like, this is how I read it, Boner. I'm yelling and I'm looking over my shoulder and there's people right behind us at the booth. I realized right after that, I'm like, I was yelling Boner.
Yeah,
They don't know.
you were.
To me, I'm yelling Bo Robert, short for Robert Ner.
Backstory, it was because her kids were fans of 10K. Like,
so they knew what was
people
going
in
on.
public
they
come up
knew.
to us and shit a lot now. It's
It's strange.
It's interesting, but this time it was these kids' mom, and they're like, "Hey, sorry, my
too embarrassed to
sons
come
are the biggest fans of yours." We're in the Sunshine Factory in Plymouth. She's like, "My sons are the biggest fans of your guys. They love the Kirk Cousins impersonation. They just want a picture. Can they come over?" We're like, "Sure."
I'm like,
and Jake's like explaining to her. He's like, "Yeah, I'm here with like Boner, like pointing at me." I'm like,
but I was being serious. I'm like,
kids
oh
want a
shit,
picture
I
with
said
Boner?
Robert,
"Yeah,
Robert
they
Boner.
want a picture with this Boner
Robert
guy."
Ner.
So it's like.
But it's
maybe get your husband to take him out fishing or something.
I don't-
if you want a picture with a boner.
I don't get like why. Yeah, Boner. Take a picture with a boner. But I don't get to like why. I get like, maybe from their perspective, like if they're like embarrassed to come over, but it's like you should not be embarrassed to talk to us fuckers. We're fucking
People
weirdest
who
motherfuckers.
embarrass themselves on the internet.
We are the. I want to tell people that next day. It's like we're the people on the air embarrassing ourselves. I'm drunkenly hungover.
I want to go
to
up to these kids and be like, you guys are going to grow up. You're going to be doctors. You're going to build buildings. You're going to contribute to society. I'm like, we are absolute clowns.
And then you have
we don't contribute anything to humanity.
And then you have us.
You guys should not be nervous to talk to people like us. We do nothing for
these
planet
people
Earth.
are nervous to talk to us, and we're the fucking people that are fucking trying to make a word by word memorization video of Kirk Cousins at the Pro Bowl.
Right. That's what we spend our time
That's
doing.
embarrassing.
Your parents should be like, hey, that's why you go to school, kids.
Yeah, that's why you go to school, kids. And we did actually.
You meet Boner and Mike Cock. That's why you go to school.
Imagine they're at this restaurant or whatever, and he screws up his words and he goes, "Yeah, I'm Mike Cock and I have a boner."
Yeah.
Instead of
if I'm drunk,
hey, I'm
maybe.
with Boner.
I'm with my cock and I'm a
I
boner.
want to point out this was a Sunday night. Like families were out to eat.
Wait a second.
And we're just drinking.
It's 7:00. This was after I just taken a puck to the knee.
Wait a
so I
second.
wasn't in the best mood.
Let me get this straight. Your name is
sir.
Mike Cock and his name is Boner?
Yes, sir.
What the fuck's going on here?
Yes, ma'am. Oh no. So it's Robert.
You guys walk up to the
Blame
wrong.
our
You guys
parents.
walk up to the wrong table with some hardo dad. Like,
Oh, yeah.
my cock and boner. Yeah, you guys are real funny. Let's fucking head outside. You talking to my wife? Let's go.
Just be like, sir, with all due respect, I don't think you've ever been within a professional organization. So
I don't.
Step away from me.
So this is why, like, I don't think I'm gonna get married till 40 until there's some sort of mature content.
There's ever
that
a
goes
woman
on.
who wants to be with you. Good for her.
I have no
Credit
idea.
to her for
I have no
fucking
idea.
putting up with you.
No, it's true. Like no insult, no harm taken. Because I have
Thought I
no
was
idea.
fucked up.
I have no idea how I'm going to get married, and my mom's probably gonna be very upset hearing that. But like her parents alone are gonna look up. Oh yeah, he does especially if I do this full time.
Yeah.
What does he do full time? He works for this media company. Looks up, it's just me in my fucking car, hungover, talking like Kirk Cousins.
I've often
What is this fucker doing?
I've often wondered that about you guys. Like when you meet a girl,
I don't
and-
understand. I don't know.
you get you get into it with this girl. You're kind of deep, going on a couple dates. Well, then her parents are like, "Who's this guy you're dating?" And you tell them your name. They look you guys up, and they
What?
just see all this shit on social media. They go to 10K takes and they see the Wilder up 7-1. Oh, give me more. You know, they see
It
all
still
that.
hurts, but less.
Yeah, that was funny. That
Kirk
was
Cousins
good
and his wife
content.
Julie both follow us on Twitter, and they see us
That's
tweeting,
legitimate. They're
tweeting
Christian
porn as a
people.
joke. But this is kind of a funny concept, though, that I did want to bring up when you guys ask about like the bit, like when I talk about 10K with other people, especially like adults and like, women and their like people's families, like it is like very serious. Like I do look at it from a business perspective. I mean, Jake, you could agree. Like,
there has to be seriousness to it to keep it going for sure.
We are easily able to flip that switch. Like,
1
minute, like when it comes to like growing like a media brand, it is like a lot of work and it's a lot of hard stuff
ton.
that people
It's
don't,
not just a podcast
people that
and record.
people
and
don't
that's
see
it.
behind the scenes. Like people are always like, "Oh, your guys' lives look so fun." And I'm like, that's 10% of it. The other 90 is actually like a lot of late nights, early mornings, you know, while working another job. It's quite a bit.
Well, that's what I always say when we start. Jack's our star of the
He's
show.
our horse.
He puts it together. You know, he does the hard work. We just come in here and talk, and that's what people hear. And for you guys too, they see the content you put out. They hear what did you put out, but there's the amount of it's like the iceberg that the Titanic hit. You know, like you see that little piece of ice sticking out of that, and that's the podcast, and that's all the content you put out. But underneath that is this huge iceberg of people putting in the back end work that no one knows what goes on, and people are like, "Oh, you have a podcast? That's insane!" And I'm like, "Well, actually, you know, I just go on there and talk. If I had a podcast, it would take up my whole goddamn week producing this and getting the equipment for it and cutting it and doing all this stuff, which is what you guys do." But the listeners definitely don't really understand how much goes into that. But it's so much. Like, and even to talk about Mace, you know, setting up the speakers and the
guy
microphones.
fucking grinds.
Yeah.
It's insane.
People don't see what he does.
No. Well, shout out to people like Mason, who's a producer of this. He's been around. Mason's been around for almost since the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, we were brought on like the first group of people beyond just me, Bossman, and Wags. Like Mason was there, and there's people like him that are doing shit behind the scenes that keep it going. Because we try to like put our hands in so many different fucking, you know, baskets and shit, and to have people that can.
It's all day
do other
meetings.
stuff.
It's texting, calling. You're just talking to people constantly. Maybe like 90% of it is
Not to
serious.
mention, Mace has a huge horn.
Oh yeah.
Like when we
fucking
hit
huge horn.
When we hit the locker room showers after this,
Oh, yeah.
Mace just walks around like he
Well,
owns the place.
I did
There's
wanna-
women
yeah.
asking about him at the bar.
Yeah.
I did kind of want to touch on that about college. You know, there's a couple, my early years, you know, a couple of my friends and I got together and were like, you know, there's a couple big dick rumors going around about other guys. You know, I don't have any of those rumors going around about myself. You know, kind of. I want to try to get some students on a commission base, just to start some big dick rumors about myself. You know, to just to the crowd around classes. You know, they walk around and they're like, "Did you did you hear that, Gage Ausmus, he's got a huge dick. And then, if it comes back to me and I hear it, I give that guy a little commission, like, hey, here's $20. You got the rumor out there. You started the rumor about the big dick.
Right.
And then it got it going, which is not true at all, but that's all you needed in college, because that brought you a long way in college. You get that, you get that big hose rumor going around. Your options,
Big horn pipe.
Huge.
your options kind of, they scatter a little bit. They were narrow before, when everyone thought, you just had a normal white guy,
Right.
Hose.
Right.
But then once everyone thinks you have a big pipe,
No,
it opens your opportunities to other girls.
This brings up a great topic about leadership I want to talk about, because you were a captain, I'm a
Leadership.
CEO.
Yeah, wait.
I'm still I'll tie this together. I'm still in the CEO stages of like the company's broke, like we're expanding, we're doing well, but like we're still not making money. But when we do get to the point where I am like a baller CEO, I plan on hiring a guy just to do like PR for me, to intentionally start positive rumors that will help my
Positive rumors.
self-image.
Yes.
Like I want him to just go to like bars around Minneapolis for 8 hours and just talk about how big my cock is.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's
like,
PR.
I want to have a guy
Yeah,
that does that.
Do you know that 10K takes guy, Jack Leverentz? No, I mean he's a
All the
funny guy,
supermodels
but
in town tell me
he's a
his
funny
wang
guy,
is
but
just
it's
massive.
actually insane.
Yeah.
Legit
He's
PR.
got a big fucking unit.
It's a big part of business is PR.
It is.
It
It's PR. A PR firm, I think people traditionally think of, well, you try to get exposure via media through charitable organizations.
Which we do donate to.
We do that as
Polar
well.
Plunge.
Like we do great things for the community, but no, we should talk about that our boss has a big pipe.
Correct.
There's some pipe there.
Really
got a
quick,
nice-
really
he's got a
quick.
nice pipe.
I know.
The pipe, the hose.
Good plumbing.
Yeah.
Jack did have something. He's been laughing
Yeah,
for the
he
last
has.
5 minutes
He-
now, but I know he wanted to bring
Mason.
I
something
know he
up.
wanted
So sorry,
to check in.
Sorry to
Mace,
cut you off
yeah.
there.
Do it.
Producer disrespect.
Do it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, you guys have no idea how much work goes in behind the scenes. I mean, I've been up till like
Yes.
5 to 8 in the morning for the past 3 weeks, just dealing with these guys.
yeah.
I love that. I see him shoot a text in at 5 in the morning. He's like, "Yeah, I just finished up, doing my clips." I'm like, "You're a psycho, and I love you to death."
Oh yeah, Ols thinks that. He's also sending him that text at 5:15. You might want to cut this in and then make this clip right now, Jack. So just stay awake and do this for us, and I'm gonna go back to bed.
Are you the picky talent? Are you like, hey, listen,
I'm not.
64,
I don't like this.
57,
I'm not
cut
a-
that out. I
hey,
look like shit.
I'm not
in that
a
one
picky
frame.
Not
talent.
57, but 57.24
Not
at
to
24.
that-
I look
Not
fat in
to
that
that
0.2
extent.
seconds.
But I've had some stuff cut in previous episodes.
About some maybe relationships.
It's all about respect.
Oh
is
no,
going on
never,
right now?
never,
I wrote
never.
about this.
Yeah, Jack. Me and you got it.
Oh,
That's
more
absolute
stuff is gonna be
BS.
Cut. Not wrong.
no.
You know, Ols means business when he grabs his mic. He doesn't
Oh, yeah.
usually
He just, like,
grab
grabs it.
Look at
When
me
he
go.
gets serious,
Look
he
at me go.
grabs it.
Firmly grasp it.
They're not. These people aren't going to hear me unless
I was
grab
just-
it.
He's like,
I was just-
hey, I want you to transfer 40 from my crypto account to my money marketing account.
You know what? I was just
the
trying to.
metaverse.
Hey, remember
The metaverse.
this, Mace? Who was the guy that shouted you out and talking about you the last
These
20
listeners
minutes?
won't hear.
Hey, we all
They
shouted
won't
him
hear
out.
me unless
Trevor.
I'm gripping this mic really hard.
Okay, really quick thing about Olson is hilarious. He did say today, for everyone saying I only wear UND stuff, like he is wearing a North Dakota hockey stuff.
It's
Well,
free.
that was the joke around campus too.
I don't blame ya.
When we're on campus and going to class, guys would be like, they just wear normal clothes because they're like, I don't want to like be a prick about playing for the North Dakota hockey team. Well, Ols, he didn't care.
No.
It's free clothes. I don't.
He's
blame
wearing
Thank you.
He's wearing his workout. Well, yeah. I mean, I enjoy it now. It's just funny. It was a funny joke at the
Yeah.
time.
No, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
It was a great joke at the time, but he's wearing his tracksuit. He's wearing this workout shirt to class, and obviously, like he's walking around the rink. He's got his shoulders above his chest. a little
Oh,
bit.
get the
But-
fuck
But,
out
but
of
when
here.
he walks in,
hockey guy.
when he walks into class, the shoulders like kind of slip back, and then the chest is out past the shoulders.
Yeah.
So he's walking around with his chest out.
That's actually a good
gotta
point.
do that.
No, walking in
the hockey
place, like,
side of it in the rink, I kind of cover myself. I'm a team player. I don't like to boast like all this stuff. But yeah,
Hey, I will-
a class.
You know what?
I'm gonna show it off.
Well, it's good for you for showing off and telling everyone I'm a hockey guy, because back in your guys' days,
wouldn't know.
no one got paid.
Yeah.
You guys were working your asses off for free, not getting paid.
No NAL.
Yeah, right. You got to walk in like you own the fucking town.
And
because-
nobody would have known who the hell I was if I wasn't wearing that gear. I'd just be a
Right.
normal student. I'd have one or two friends.
in terms of being paid, when it came to my junior year, your sophomore year, they did change the rules a little bit. It wasn't NIL, but on top of your scholarship, athletes did get an extra whatever the amount was.
I still didn't.
Just in spending money, which
per
was
diem, I bet, was
Yeah.
the word they.
it was
chalked
it was a
up as.
big deal.
I didn't like that.
And they worded it as like
loophole.
this is for groceries, this is for whatever it is, to further your athletic career or whatever. Well, we got that little bump in pay with, I don't know, my junior year, your sophomore year. And it was hilarious because we got that little bump in pay, so you got your rent paid for, your schooling paid for, so you had to save that money. But then on top of that, you had an extra probably like $3,000 to spend throughout the semester. And half the team would go spend it at the blackjack table within the first week or 2 weeks.
Why not?
Yeah.
Try to double it.
Exactly.
Because Grand Forks has blackjack at every bar.
Imagine if
Because
you guys had
Minnesota's fucked with
invested
this
that
gambling
$3,000
rules.
into Bitcoin.
Oh,
back
it would have
in
been
the day.
insane. And
Screw pro hockey, you'd be a billionaire.
We used to go. I mean, it sounds like. I mean, it is stuck up, but we made jokes about it. Like we would go shopping to like Macy's or whatever, buy clothes, and you had this UND debit card, which is all your scholarship money on. So you pay for food and everything on campus with that. Well, we would go shopping and we buy clothes, and we're like, put it on the Scully. Hand them the UND card. Hand them the UND card, and they just give us some clothes. And I don't want to get college sports in trouble for wasting this money, but I mean that's
That's what you guys are in your early 20s.
everyone's in
late
different stages.
teens,
There are
of course you're
guys who they're football guys down south or wherever that might be sending that money back to their parents, which is a lot better than what we did, but. Those were the jokes going on back in the days, but now they do get those NIL deals, and no one knows.
I didn't get it. I shouldn't say everybody should have got the same amount, but I was on 50% scholarship, so I got 50% of that extra money. How in the fuck does that make sense? That a guy on 100% gets 3,200 just added on top. Is this getting too political?
So, no.
Is this getting too political, or
I have a funny
I'm going to listen to this. I'm not going to argue because I was fortunate to be on a good scholarship.
No, I'm going to crack a joke here. So while you guys were getting that money and buying top end clothing, you want to know how I made money in college other than working?
Prostitution.
High interest private loans that I'm still paying back as a goddamn stupid.
I'm gonna shut my fucking
loans.
mouth. I'm gonna shut my mouth.
Political.
Yeah, the student loans are.
I'm still paying it off.
But I am
me
glad you guys like had worked your asses off to get to the point where you were in college.
Thank you.
Don't be Stop.
That's
Stop.
That's how I justified it in my head was
And
like,
all the money that it takes to like play hockey, like I didn't grow up playing it, but I know like the equipment, like the ice time, it's not a cheap sport. Like, you guys worked your tails off to
Not at
get
all.
to play for the greatest school in the country at the time. Stop. You guys won the national championship. Like,
Thank you.
You guys deserve something. You deserve something for that.
I know we do. We do, don't
What
we?
are you doing?
Oh, you keep saying you guys, so I feel like you're including myself.
Oh, I'm
as
pointing
well.
at them.
Oh, well, they don't. The listeners
My shoulders
don't know
are
that.
pointed this way.
Unless
yeah.
unless Bull Jack clips this.
No, people watch on YouTube.
Unless
they
he
watch
clips it, I am part of this.
Jake, they watch the full thing on YouTube.
Oh
It's
yeah, you're
visual.
right. This is all on
right.
YouTube.
We're gonna
I'm part of this. Though.
we're gonna totally transition here.
yeah,
call.
let's
Do
transition.
you have more 10K questions, or do we just go right into Palooza?
So, Valentine's Day is coming up,
See.
which is why we wanted to touch on this subject. Which Valentine's Day at the University of North Dakota, when you're on the hockey team, it's a big deal.
It's a huge event.
I don't know what it is for other colleges, but it was a huge deal for us, because one of the classes that we went to school with, Jordan Schmaltz, Bryn Chiswick, Colton Sanderson, all those guys, they started this tradition. It was called Valentine's Palooza. So you know how, I mean, you were in a frat, you know, you guys do formals for things, and us hockey players, we don't have anything like that. So we were honestly kind of jealous of the formals that frats were throwing. You know, like you get a girl to dress up, you dress up in a suit, you go to a formal, you have a nice party.
They're worse than you think. But keep going.
Well, none of us know. Well, that's the same case for the Palooza.
Yeah, that's what I figured it would lead to.
So they start this Valentine's Palooza deal, which is, it's still going on today. It's a hell of a tradition. But anyways, we try to recreate the formal for frats by doing a Valentine's Palooza. So Palooza is every guy on the team asks one girl to be their date. We all go to the same house before. We hop on a party bus or a limo, and we go to Paradiso,
The Mexican
Grand
spot.
Forks.
Oh, good spot.
Great spot.
Good spot.
to eat. And this was like, the year revolved around Palooza. Like when you're at college, like you wanted to go to Palooza. Like,
Well, especially for you guys, because you don't get to, like, fraternities have these things
We
fucking
get
once a month because
Exactly.
we can. You guys are athletes.
we
You're-
get to
you're
drink
competing. You're
we get to
training.
drink Saturday and sometimes Sunday when we sweep and like things
Right.
go really well.
And
But we don't
you
have-
guys
yeah.
can't just go out in public and make an ass out of yourselves like
correct.
we could. So I no,
There's an image.
I get why it means a lot to you.
yeah, we never got the full weekend really. Like we never really went out on Fridays ever. We don't even know what a Friday looks like in college really. But Saturdays we obviously do. But Palooza was such a big deal to us, and we would all ask, you know, it was just like the prior to like coming up to Palooza, like, oh yeah, who's your date? Who
Yeah.
you bringing? Like that was the best part because like a lot of guys didn't know, like, I don't have a date. Like I got to invite someone. There were plenty of girls that would go and they just wouldn't ask or whatever. But eventually everyone would get a date. And most of the dates at this Palooza event wouldn't really have a connection to their date. You know, like it wasn't like they were their girlfriend. Like some of them were, but a lot of them were just complete random girls that they asked to come on this date. So when we'd all dress up like idiots, like for Valentine's, dumb suits and like ridiculous outfits. And then we go to Palooza, we'd eat dinner there, we'd all get margaritas all night or whatever, and the younger guys would, you know, we'd order for them and just give it to them or whatever. So we're sitting there, eat all this dinner, and then at the end of dinner you give out awards.
That was the best part.
For Palooza. And the awards were the best part because they were complete jokes. It was like, you know,
Best dressed,
best couple,
drunkest couple,
most likely to end up with another person's date.
Yeah.
And that was always the funniest one because every year there's like 3 or 4 couples that would end up with someone else. So like you just always
Yeah, there's
bet
always a
who
good
it'd be.
swinging bit thrown in there.
I do. I want to add on that quick. You know, I was going to mention it in the break, but my first Palooza ever freshman year, I took a gal from Duluth. We were friends. We were just family friends, whatever. But she's a great time, and we're on the limo back from Paradiso, and one of my teammates confesses his love to her.
And she's your date?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, confesses.
are no rules.
I'm,
I
yeah,
love
no,
you.
there are no rules at Palooza.
Your date is not your date. There's guys with
So it's like a Christmas exchange. Like
Yeah.
it's all fair game.
Yeah,
there's guys
Yankee
with heads on their
swap.
swivel the whole night. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh, God
Yankee
damn it.
swap. That makes it sound
I was going
terrible.
to say
Sounds
bad look for
bad.
UND.
That
Not
sounds terrible.
we're
but
not
yes,
affiliated with the
kind of.
university in any way.
No, it was a good time. The
before
girls
I
had
get
a great
legal
time
trouble.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
No, it was fun.
Everyone had a great time.
Everybody dressed up, and you did your pictures, and usually there was like a group of gals, and one guy would take one gal from the group or whatever, and they'd do group pictures. Whatever, we'd get hammered. We'd take. We're not talking about group stuff. We're just saying.
Okay, wait. Really quick question.
Yeah.
It's
This is a serious question.
Shoot.
Did you guys always take pictures in front of a backdrop that specifically had like rose petals going?
Yeah, hearts.
So I know
Every
Palooza
year.
is specifically because
The guys who would set it up for that year
Yeah.
would set up the house for Palooza. There'd always be a backdrop for the pictures. Like I don't know.
I knew some gals who went to the Palooza. I was never invited to the
So is this like Lollapalooza where like the Red Hot Chili Peppers are playing? Like, what the fuck?
No, it's Valentine's Palooza, so it's close to Valentine's, and obviously we couldn't always do it on Valentine's Day because either we were playing or not playing or whatever, and we just find the best date the week before, the
you
week
pick
after,
the best of the crop.
The reason.
the week before, the week after. And it usually ended up that we had a bye week on the week before or week after or week of that we would be able to pull it off. But it's just some week in February we could have Valentine's Palooza.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And it was like everyone looked forward to it. But anyways, our best year that we were in college, the 2016 when we won it all. I mean, we were winning games left and right and having the best time of our lives. Well, we go to Denver and everyone on the team knows, like, when we leave Denver, that next week we have a bye week, and we have Palooza. So everyone's just pumped for Palooza. Well, we go to Denver, and we get swept by Denver. And we never got swept on
I
that
think
team.
I remember that
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah. So, like, we never got swept on that team, and we got swept, and it was, like, eye-opening, like, holy fuck, like,
We're not
we
unstoppable.
we actually can be beat.
Yeah.
That's fucked. So I was on the leadership. On the
Committee.
leadership committee that year, obviously, and kind of made the decision like we gotta discipline the boys. We're canceling Palooza. We just got swept. We're canceling.
You
Palooza.
made that call?
Made the call.
Oof, da.
It was a big deal.
Good for you, though. You know, someone's got to be the bad guy in order for the...
I didn't like it because
greater
everyone
good.
knows I'm not the bad guy, but that's what happened. But a couple guys still went or whatever,
Still did
did
it.
their own
Ooh.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was a tough break for us to not have Palooza because it's a thing you look forward to the whole year, like
But
doing this formal, getting on the limo, going to Paradiso, getting hammered, giving out the awards.
Gage, truthfully speaking, if you didn't show them, though, that, like, nothing,
I agree.
everything doesn't come easy, who knows? Maybe something would have happened and you guys would have lost on the track. Like, all respect for you for doing that.
You have to put your foot down, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can
You
say,
can't just let...
you can say
Can't
that
get swept.
You can't get swept by Denver.
You can
Fucking Denver.
You can obviously say that now, but no one on that team knew what our outcome would be at the end
Yeah.
of the year. And if we hadn't, had our success towards the end of the year that we did, some of those guys on the team might still not talk to me because that would have been a waste of time.
Yeah, right.
Not going to Palooza.
No, but really quick, can you guys imagine in that semifinal game where you guys had your little moment? Can you imagine if you would have lost that game? Everyone on the way out would have been like, shit,
Well-
that fucking Palooza.
Well, what do you think? What do you think's going through my mind that whole time? They tie the game up. I'm like, if we lose this game, we cancel Palooza. Like, I don't care if we lose in the Frozen Four, but I canceled Palooza.
yeah.
That's a bigger deal than
Double
actually-
whammy.
And then we won, and then we had our party at Ferg's, and then we went home, and Gage put his credit card down at Joe Black's, and it was elite.
Well, hey, if you can't win back to
Talk about a leader.
buy back.
Talk
the
about a
Harms.
leader.
Yeah, no kidding.
Guy threw
That's
down
not a
his,
leader. That's just a drunk guy thinking he's the man.
Dude,
and then,
it's
and we
Bam.
took
so,
advantage of him.
So really quick, funny thing, like I was watching that so like going back to the episode where you guys
Yeah.
had that famous clip where you talked about that, like going back to like when I was at the fraternity house, like watching that game, I remember just being like so stressed out and be like, how the fuck is this happening? Like, we're gonna fucking lose this game. Little did I know, 5 years later, I'd be sitting here with the two guys who were part of that. It's like I always tell Gage, like when we're just hanging out, I'm like, I was just a freshman at the Ralph, watching these guys play, and it was the coolest thing in the world. Never, like, would I ever think that we'd just be sitting here talking about it, like, however many years later. It's crazy. So it's just funny, like, going back to that season specifically, thinking back to, like, that game and stuff.
It is fun to go back to that, which is why I wanted to bring up, Jake, you can comment on this from the Minnesota aspect. It still plays. I did want to, since you guys didn't play hockey and we did, I did want to go over the game day versus a player. What's the game day like for a player versus a fan who's pumped up for the game and is going to the game? I do think there's some similarities with how some fans prepare for games and how players prepare for games, but obviously a ton of differences. So to start us off, I mean, like players, we show up at the rink.
It's like 8:30. We have our breakfast, whatever.
We show up to the Ralph at 8:30 or whatever. We have breakfast. And at UND, we're spoiled. So before the season, you write down your omelet order, what you want in your omelet, and I pick tomatoes, mushrooms, bacon, ham, and then
you probably still remember your
Must
whole
be
order,
nice.
don't you?
yeah, it's very nice. So then you walk into the rink that morning for pregame skate on Friday or whatever, and you out of this like hot refrigerator basically is your plate, and it has your number on top of it. You grab your number, and that's your omelet with your hash browns or whatever you ordered, and you eat that before pregame meal, and then
Pregame
skate, and then you lace them up, and you go do pregame skate, and there's a ton of things that go into game day. But to go on from there, like we go home after pregame skate. A lot of guys take naps. Some guys play video games. Some guys do homework, whatever it is. And then you...
Nobody does homework. Get lost.
Homework.
Some fucking... Fuck
I mean, you have to do it, I get it. Get the fuck out of here.
Some fucking guys would.
Well, that's true. They're in engineering and like
None of
shit like
us,
that.
but
yeah, and there's
some
no
guys
chance.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Friday
I get
comes
that.
along, I ain't doing shit when
No.
it comes to school.
I mean, Thursday comes along, I'm like, you know what? I can't go to class. I got a fucking game tomorrow.
Yeah, game day.
Why can't you come to class
You guys were
today?
focused on the right thing.
Why can't you come to class today?
We all
well,
thought
I got a
we'd be in
game
the
tomorrow.
NHL. Yeah,
Come on.
Well, you're
give me
not
a
playing
break.
today, are you? Well, no, but I got to think about it.
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, you go home. Some guys take a nap, whatever it is. Then you go to the rink at
2. It was like 1:45 for power play, and then two for pregame meal.
yeah. So pregame. Then you go back to the rink for pregame meal.
Yeah.
You do meetings. Then you eat your pregame meal, which Olson already explained. A lot of the players would eat 7,000 calories of pasta, which probably isn't the best
way too
pregame meal
much.
to do, but we would do it. And then we go back home again, take a nap or whatever before the game, come back at, some guys come back at 4 o'clock, some guys come back at 5. Game starts at 7:30. You sit in the locker room until the game, do whatever you got to do. Obviously different for everyone. Some guys, Tucker Pullman, a freak of nature, would just be eating snacks the whole time because he burns so many calories. He's a psycho. Other guys, like I played with a guy named Brendan O'Donnell, who in St. Cloud we got to the rink at 4:45 and he got fully dressed at 4:50 and stayed fully dressed until the game started.
That's nuts.
So
Hey man, whatever works.
Whatever
I'm a
works.
weird believer
Whatever your
in
routine is.
superstition.
yeah, so whatever works for you, that's what you do, and then you go on the ice for the game. Well, what's it like for the fans? What's your game day routine when you know you're going to a game and about to have yourself a day?
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, because it's probably way different for
I
the
think-
Dakota fans, especially as of the last 10 years.
I think particularly for this bit, I'll share what it's like being a UND hockey fan, but I want Jake to share what it's like being I want him to give his like game day experience for football, because his his
go-to is football.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's got a fantastic routine for football.
It's kind of the same philosophy,
Yeah.
though. Like
So-
everyone's got their game day routine. You know? So
All right, you want me to? Okay, so being like a college hockey fan, especially as a student of the University of North Dakota, are we talking Friday or Saturday night? Because there's a very drastic difference between my pregame routine depending on the
it's
day.
also-
So
it's-
vaguely
yeah.
describe both days.
but it's also a little different for players
Yeah.
as well. So
Right. Okay.
So I
Friday
think,
and
I think
Saturday-
So we'll do
vaguely,
both.
Yeah.
Friday
We'll do a
and
little bit of both.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday differ a little bit.
Okay, so being a fraternity business student at UND on Friday, I probably wake up. My first class is probably at 11 a.m. I probably wake up at 10:50. Really quickly get ready in 3 minutes. Drive in my car to the parking lot at Gamble Hall. Sprint to class. I'm a few minutes late. I spend 2 hours in class. I pretend like I just put in a full day's worth of work, even though I didn't. I maybe listened to like 6 minutes of the
You
lectures
definitely
combined.
leave those classes thinking like,
Yep.
I put in a full day.
Yep.
That's good.
Go back home, make lunch. For me, my favorite was just putting as much peanut butter as you physically could on 2 slices of bread, putting it together, finding like a bag of chips, like off-brand chips, just eating that and the peanut butter sandwich together. Go back out to my room and take like a 3-hour nap because, I woke up at 10:30. That's pretty early for a student. I wake up probably like 5-6 p.m., grab dinner. Some of the guys are heading to, let's just say, I'm blanking. Speedway. Sure, we'll go with Speedway. Grab like a burger and fries, have the dollar cans on Friday nights that they would do. Probably have like 8 or 9 of those. Or no, sorry, that was Thursday nights, but you'd still drink like 10 cans of beer.
Yeah.
And then you'd get ready for the hockey game. So you'd go back to the house. We put it on a big screen. You'd have a handle of liquor on your right for shots, and you'd have a case on your left, probably full of Busch Light, the Grand Forks favorite.
Yeah.
Happy Harry's, the largest seller of Busch Light in the entire world, apparently, statistically speaking. You just get as hammered as you can. By the third period, you can't even walk. You've taken so many piss breaks that you've gotten your steps in for the day. Apple Watch is like, holy shit, you've gotten all your exercise today. You're like, oh, I've just been going to the bathroom from my chair back and forth. Then you decide to go downtown, have a couple drinks there, blah, blah, blah. Now, Saturdays are very different, especially National Championship Saturday was very different. You're probably waking up at like 12 or 1 because you're just hung titties at that point. You wake up. You go, you get breakfast, you get like the Denny's All-American, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You basically physically stuff as much food in your face as possible. And then you get into day drinking mode. You get home, you're like ready to get fucked up. You're like, we got Saturday, it's hockey, it's the middle of winter, there's nothing else to do. Like the hockey game's at 7, the boys are playing at 7, like we're gonna be waffled by puck drop. Like that's your goal as a fan. And especially if there's a game at the Ralph, because you're basically just day drinking that entire time until it's puck drop time. And as a freshman, you wait outside in line and you drink as much alcohol as you can. You're passing the fireball because you want to get lower bowl, but it's freezing. But as an adult, you show up at the last second. You're trudging your way up to the last row of the Ralph. You're in the nosebleeds. And then it's an electric feeling on Saturday nights. I remember specifically they would play the Nickelback remix of Saturday Nights Are for Fighting.
For fighting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Friday nights you got Phil Collins. Get goosebumps
Yeah.
during that video. But Saturday nights are the Nickelback. And then you just sit there and you just drink and you have fun. You cheer on the boys. You go down to that bar that's absolutely packed. You wait 10 minutes to get a beer. And when you finally get that beer, it's like $11. But you go up and you do that again like 4 more times throughout the game. And then the game is over. Typically, North Dakota wins. We like to win a lot of hockey games, so you're happy. So you take the...
we like to win on Saturdays.
Yeah,
right,
that's for sure.
Right. So you walk from the Ralph. Sometimes you walk, or most of the time you get an Uber to downtown. Luckily, my house happened to be at the halfway point, so I'd usually walk back home and then get what we in the fraternity call a sober bro to bring you to the bars. And you just celebrate. You go to the Loft, you go to Joe Black's, Bonzer's, you do the entire thing. And a lot of rambling I just did, but long story short, you really do everything the opposite of athletic that you could possibly do. And you drink a lot and you eat a lot and you sleep a lot.
What really resonated with me on the Saturday game was that the Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
Yeah.
Nickelback before the game. Played every game. And I used to sing every word on the ice as it was playing.
Such a good song.
Sister's looking cute in her braces and boots. Handful of grease in her hair.
I mean, Nickelback, you could argue Nickelback didn't do a lot right, but they did that remix. They did that correctly. That was awesome. So, I mean, yeah, just from an average fan, it was just waking up late, eating, somehow getting the courage to drink. You start drinking.
Getting your base, and then you hammer some beers.
You drink all day. You go to the Ralph. You overpay for beers, but you know that it's worth it because it's the experience. It's being able to sit, even if you're in the nosebleeds like I was, it's being able to sit there with a beer, getting to watch your favorite hockey team in the world play. Even if you're in the top row, but getting to just drink and enjoy it, it was worth every penny. It was worth all the wait in that packed-ass bar.
Yeah.
They had the two different bars, right, Mace? They had the one.
They had the Oregon bar.
It was based on seed branding at North Dakota, right? It was the one. Do you remember what they were called? One of them was like a certain brand of seed, and the other one was the other because they were like sponsored by the
Beta
crops.
Seed.
Yep, Beta Seed.
Yeah,
and the
Beta
other one was
Seed.
the bar with the Oregon.
You answered one of my questions I had because as a player, you don't really get to see what it's like from the outside perspective. Mm-hmm. But when we show up to the rink, and I would always show up like 4:30, 4:45, 2 hours, two and a half hours before the game. Well, when you show up as a player at the Ralph, if you're on a good team that year, there's fans lining the walls of where you're parking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where the players park for the game, we park in this gated thing, and then we walk down the bus ramp into the rink. And outside the bus ramp is always the line of...
And it's mostly freshmen.
Yeah, it's a line of students, just a huge line of students. And you're walking in this rink, and it's like 10 degrees or -5, and there's still this line of students, and the whole time you're thinking, like, who the fuck are these people waiting outside?
They're all freshmen. Confirmed.
To get a seat.
I was that freshman. Like I said, Mace was probably that freshman. It was -20 out. I remember we brought like a liter of Fireball and we just passed it around the line. But like as a freshman, lower bowl is the greatest thing ever. And as you mature and you get older, especially once you get 21, you can start to hit the bar. You're like, yeah, you know what? Upper bowl is not that bad. You get to see all the action on the ice and you're closer to the bar. But as a freshman, getting that lower bowl seat secured, even if you had to wait for a few hours, was like the greatest achievement.
Yeah.
I remember waiting for the lower bowl versus Casey Middlestad against the Gophers. It was at the fucking Ralph Engelstad Arena. Oh my god, I waited 10 hours outside North Dakota, -degree temperatures.
You had to go piss at the bookstore because that's the closest bathroom.
Yep.
A block away. It was such a long walk.
You waited that long to watch the guy who couldn't do a pull-up at the combine?
Yeah. Who didn't he didn't even play, right? Because he was sick or something, I thought.
That was the best part because he had the whole Snapchat filter and he didn't even play.
Right. He was sick. He was like, I'm sick. I'm like, no, you got psyched out by the signs.
Yeah.
There were signs all over the houses that said Casey Middlestad can't do a push-up. The poor guy, there was a sign behind the Gophers goalie that said it. Huge sign on the glass. Some hero sat in the front row and had that sign right by, like the poor kid would have seen it every time he looked down the zone. Like,
none of us have to feel bad about that, though, because he's doing pretty well right now.
Yeah. He's doing better than all of us combined.
He's kind of laughing right now, so now we can all joke about it. I don't feel bad about that joke at all. You know, I would give my left nut to not be able to do a pull-up, but still play in the NHL.
No, I can't do a pull-up either.
Yeah.
I can do like 6, maybe 5.
All right.
I did the chirp, but at the end of the day, back then and even today, I can't do a fucking pull-up. Dude, my arm, you could fit your entire fucking hand around my arms. They're that small.
I played hockey. And I did like 5 pull-ups, so like some people just get it.
The pull-up really doesn't determine how good of a hockey player you are, but it is funny to make fun of. How is a guy that gets drafted top 10 in the NHL?
Casey Middlestad.
Yeah.
I heard all that shit.
Not do a pull-up. It's kind of funny.
That is hilarious.
The funniest thing was the bit from the fan perspective was like, kid can't even do a fucking pull-up, and they'd be like, he's got filthy hands.
Yeah.
Like, everyone always followed it up with a compliment. They'd always shit on him, and then be like, kid's fucking wrist.
It's like all those memes of all the fans chirping athletes, like, you know, like, That it's
it's
like
like
that fat guy sitting on the couch, like, how didn't he fucking catch that ball?
Or a guy misses a field goal and it's like a fat guy with Cheetos and he's like, fucking idiot.
Millions of dollars. Guy can't even play quarterback in the NFL. What a fucking loser.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Hawk, what is your daily football routine?
What's the daily tailgate
Football routine?
Yeah.
Minnesota Gophers football routine?
Well, of course, it's waking up with a beautiful woman next to you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, not really. Hell no.
I wish I would have started with that.
Fuck no. I mean,
100%.
it's pretty much the same as going back to 2009, since I've had season tickets with my father to the new stadium. Just waking up excited as all hell for probably no reason. Overly excited for a football team that's probably going nowhere. In reality, well, maybe now with PJ Fleck, row the boat, Sky Gophers, and now that there is an onside kicking coach specialist. But waking up, getting excited, pounding a couple beers, going to the tailgate lot, and setting everything up on a small, maybe not so impressive grill, but getting stuff heated up.
Yeah.
Some butterscotch schnapps
Nice.
and some
Need
hot
it.
chocolate. Hot chocolate with some butterscotch schnapps. Orgasm in a drink. Like, that stuff is unbelievable. Throw a football around, talk about why the Gophers are going to do something this year until they don't.
Yeah.
Usually they don't. Getting up, drinking, having a good time, bringing out the boys. Everybody, Coach Boner's there. Everybody's there, having a great time. I can actually, going back to some of my first tailgating experiences back in 2009, a 13-year-old boy, male, I should say. We were with some Michigan.
Whoa.
We were some okay, so the Gophers were playing.
What was that clarification for?
Yeah, no, he's a boy.
I was a
a boy
13-year-old
or-
male/boy because there's puberty going on.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
pubes were growing in. Maybe
Yeah.
at
Oh,
this
okay,
point.
okay.
Young Mike Hawk, I should tell you. But anyways, we were tailgating near some Michigan State fans, and we ended up talking to him. One of them was dressed up as the Green Giant, a vegetable guy. This is 2009. This is when Kirk Cousins was like a sophomore. I had actually never heard of Kirk Cousins at this point, but I became a fan of him after this game, weirdly. But that's not the point. Anyway, started talking to these Michigan State fans. I think the Vikings were playing the Cowboys that weekend or something, and they were in town. And apparently, one of the Michigan State guys we were talking to, I was 13 years old, started talking about he was at a bar the night before, and there's some Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders there. And I'm a 13-year-old kid. He's talking to my dad. Yes, boing, shit like that. And we're just talking to these Michigan State fans, having a cordial conversation. This one guy, he's pretty drunk, was just all of a sudden talking about, I saw some hot ass fucking Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders at the bar. I really love practice babysitting with her. And
Just
my dad's
practice,
like,
though. Just practice,
yeah.
not the real thing.
Not
I
the
don't
real
want to baby
thing.
make, but I want to practice.
you want to practice it. And I'm
which
13
involves
Yeah, let's
something.
clarify. This isn't the regular season.
Which involves something that's called a Trojan or a pullout.
So right, so he's being
Correct. Pull-out
strategic
couch.
about it. He
If
said
you want to be
sheepskin.
75%, you just pull out.
so.
Oh, no, I don't have one of those. I'll just pull out.
right.
And so, long story short, that's one of my first tailgating experiences. Seeing that, dealing with fans like that, and 15 years later, Mike Hawk is born, and just going out, dancing on top of Gopher ambulances, themed ambulances,
was
yelling
dancing on
"Row
top
the
of a
boat,"
bus.
telling Wisconsin fans to fuck off. But just going out with the old man, drinking. He drinks the Bloody Mary, gets maybe a little too drunk. Eventually, to this day, he plays a little game of Flip Cup. I play with him, and we're still somehow fans of the football team, including Mike Hawk and onside kicking.
Well, I
coach
wonder
specialist.
why. I wonder why you're still fans of tailgating, because you wake up with a girl.
Yeah.
a
Beautiful
hot-
woman,
a
beautiful, hot,
woman
12 out of
at
10.
that. And then
Can't
you
go below
then you go
11.
drink a couple of Bloody Marys, drinks, whatever.
Butterscotch schnapps
Still
and hot
sounds
chocolate.
great. And then you walk around this tailgate having a great time. Then you go to the football game. It sounds like an unbelievable time.
And maybe rush the field, you know. And but it's been tough as a hockey fan, a Gopher hockey fan, I should say, the last 10 years. It hasn't been excited to go to a game. I maybe went to 2 games as a student. That was it. Nothing crazy. Student section
But
was half empty.
They've had some good teams though.
Since then, yes.
So when I'm growing,
Well, I shouldn't say 10 years because they left the WCHA in 2014, which was the year of the 0.2 second goal.
2013, 2014, yeah.
That was the last year of WCHA. So after that, it sucked. But before, and I wasn't a student at the U yet. So when I was at the U, experience was not that great. I had to work a lot of games. I did like some production shit, you know. It was still fun to be at the game and stuff.
Yeah.
But as a student, it was not fun. Because they're playing Big Ten. I don't give a shit if they play Penn State. They're number 4 in the country. I don't give two shits. It's Penn fucking State.
Yeah.
I don't care. But obviously the 2014 year, I was a junior in high school.
I think that describes a lot of, and that explains some of the attendance issues the Gophers have with their hockey team. Because when I was growing up and they're playing the WCHA.
Oh, when I was growing up, the game day experience as a fan was unreal.
Yeah, like when I'm growing up
Completely
in these hockey games, these Gopher hockey games, I'm watching them on TV. You know, you're watching on the old FSN. And,
North. FSN North.
All right, Pete FSN
With
North.
LaPanta.
Valley sucks.
Theme song.
and there's all these games are sold out. Like they're
Yeah.
Every
sold out.
single game.
Every single game when I
Was
was growing
sold
up
out
was
to the
sold
brim.
out. And Minnesota hockey, like if you're a Gopher hockey player and you're
Unreal.
walking around Minneapolis, I mean, you're damn near bigger than a fucking
Wild
player.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think about the mid '90s too. My dad was telling me about when the Wild weren't a team, weren't a thing, and the Gophers were still in the WCHA. Unfortunately, I don't think they really actually did shit in terms of a national presence in the mid '90s or '90s when the Wild weren't here. But still, I guess back then it was like unreal. If you were a Gopher hockey player, you were the shit in the Midwest. Like everything.
I still think you are if you're a hockey player at the Gopher. It's still like,
It's still an established tradition.
it still
culture
holds a lot
program.
of weight. Like
Yeah.
you walk around campus and you're like, yeah, I play hockey for the Gophers. Like that's
Yes.
like
Still a big deal.
that's
Still
pretty
a
fucking
huge
cool.
deal.
Yeah.
It's still a huge deal, but it's definitely not what it was when I was
It's lost
growing up,
its
and I
days.
think it's because of the WCHA or
Oh,
whatever.
100%. And they've raised prices too.
Yeah.
They've raised prices almost, if not, they've raised prices since they left the WCHA to the Big Ten. It's ridiculous.
And they just, I think within the past 2 or 3 years, they just started selling liquor.
They did at
Which is-
the Uchi.
which
Yes, they have.
At the
which can help.
Mariucci, which is a good thing for them. And people don't know this about college, but certain college rinks and stadiums don't serve booze because they're owned by the university, and the universities aren't legalized to sell alcohol or whatever. And which is why the Ralph
Can you imagine?
which is why the Ralph has such a big advantage for fans and attendance, because the Ralph Engelstad Arena is on campus at UND, but it is not owned by the university. It's owned by the Engelstad family, which means they can make their own rules. When whatever they want to do, they can make those rules. Versus if the arena or stadium is owned by the university, they can only make so many rules before they're violating NCAA terms, you know, state terms, federal laws, whatever it is. So
Not to sound dramatic, but if the Ralph didn't serve booze, there would be riots.
Yeah.
there'd be no.
There would be a protest.
And that's
it would
another-
look like the Mariucci.
Yes, and that's another thing that goes in the
It
Ralph.
might.
And that's another thing that goes in the Ralph. You know, like Dave Haxtell and Gino Gasparini, they used to be best. You know, they used to make friends with the police commissioner in town in Grand Forks.
Smart move.
Because, and I remember specific games we'd be playing mid game, and Hack would notice a student being carried out of the crowd by cops, and he would put up a big fit about that. Like, hey, let these students watch the game. Like, don't come down in these stands, because that's a big part about students going to these college hockey games. You need them to be rowdy. You need them to drink, and you
Yeah, that's the
Just
point.
like any other sport.
any sport. But I always liked that about Hack, because he understood you need fans in the stands, and if these students want to come to these games, all college students want to drink when they're going to an athletic game.
I wish he was as lenient when his players got minors.
Or Unfortunately not. There's a line between fans and players.
Trevor, did you get a
They're
minor?
Ols.
I got one, so
I-
we're minor brothers.
I absolutely got a minor, and it
2
was
minutes for fighting,
and
drinking.
it was welcome weekend my freshman year, and Cam Johnson and I, both 20 years old, blew a .08, and the new president there or whatever was like, no alcohol on campus.
Boo.
Yeah, that's gonna fucking work.
Boo. Yeah, exactly. We're in our
you guys
dorm.
have-
You're in
We're
a
in our
college
dorms.
campus in Grand
Thank
Forks.
you.
Would you guys have one beer?
me
We
a
both
break.
blew a
Give
.08.
me a
We
break.
were sipping on beers. We were getting ready for the party that night. They fucking slapped us with minors. We had to call Dave Haxtell, worst call ever.
You want to know what I
Ever
blew when
made.
I got a minor? .14. I deserved every
You're
bit of
almost
it.
in the pocket.
You and Cam did not.
Well, I
I blew a
appreciate that.
.09 when I got a minor.
Yeah,
So that's bad too. What the fuck?
yeah.
Kind of embarrassing. It's like I wish I would have.
I wish I was cooked.
Yeah.
Like I wish I, you know,
Yeah.
I wish I blow a .22.
If you're gonna
Might
get
as
in trouble
well.
with the law, you might as well be chugging
Try to
fireball in the
break
middle of the
a world
road.
record.
Exactly.
You're gonna get it
you know?
either way.
Yeah.
Try to break that world record.
When I got a minor, the cop was like, "You've been drinking it?" I'm like, "I am fucking tossed."
I haven't drinking anything.
And he's like, "Do you even need me to breathalyze you?" I'm like, "Well, at this point, I might as well do it for fun."
yeah, seriously.
But when you're close like that, like, come on.
Yeah.
dude.
When you're close, I was underage, so I would have been over either way. But
right.
yeah, when you're close, it's like I was like kind of pissed. I'm like, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
no, my friends are gonna call me out. They're
Yeah.
gonna think I was fake drinking the whole time. Fake boozing in front of them.
Yeah.
.09, that's some amateur shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine
Come on, man.
.08 as a
No,
20-year-old.
I'm a
Point
heavy.
to eight,
I'm a
come
heavy.
on.
I think I had like 9 beers that night. .09. I mean, not bad. Heavy.
I was gonna say that means you're an absolute unit.
Liver's
That means
pretty
there's
good.
some tolerance.
Liver's pretty good. Processes alcohol pretty well.
It's doing its job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's tolerance there. That's the key you can brag about. But I think going back to the fan aspect, like I fortunately in my college years didn't experience like the student section to where it could have been at the U because it's Minnesota. But there were a few games where they brought in like UND came back, St. Cloud State, UMD. There's a couple games like that where the student section was back to almost where it was when I was a kid, and I just remember being there and people were fucking trashed out of their mind.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just tell these kids to go to these sport. Even I went to basketball games my freshman and sophomore year a lot. You can't have kids not being fucked up. Like there was a guy named Joey King who played for the Gopher basketball team. He played for Eastview.
He played in the TMT, right?
Yeah,
the
and he was
basketball
terrible.
tournament.
No, we hated him.
The
So
$1 million cash prize amateur basketball.
my
tournament.
point is with this is that
On
okay,
ESPN
so
8 the Ocho.
he hit a couple decent threes here and there for the Gophers, but people fucking hated him because people knew him as the douche around campus, and he thought he was higher than himself.
Mace went to
you know.
Eastview, so
You
you
know
might wanna-
Joey
you might
King?
want to tag him in here.
Oh yeah, people said I'd never talked to him. People just said he was a douchebag. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing against the dude, but I mean, he knew what was coming for him. Like,
Well, and I'm going into the story here, so like people would be trash in the student section. Like I drank like not very much because I was a fucking dipshit, in freshman year. But like people would get a little drunk, and he tried doing a reverse layup when he was on a breakaway. Just do a basic layup. Tried doing a reverse layup when he didn't need to. Missed the layup. Turned it over. They went down and scored. And all these guys were just fucking ripping on him, like in the student section. One guy's like, Joey, you're so white. and shit like that. And then when he was inbounding right in front of us, all these kids like, hey, Joey, let's just stick to the basic white people layups, okay, buddy? Shit like that. They just
Yeah,
shit
you
on him.
have to.
And people would always say he looked like he was constipated every time this on his face, it looked like he was
He had
constipated.
game face.
So they would be like, Joey, it looks like you're about to take a shit, shit like that. And then there was another time too where like we had a heart of the game winner. And we were down by like 15 against Northwestern, who at the time was terrible at basketball, and we were losing with like 2 minutes left, like down by 15. We were done. We were over. I was in the student section. It was like one of my hallmates there, and like maybe 3 other people in the student section, and they announced the heart of the game winner, which they're not going to give to the other team, but they're going to give to the home team. And they're like, right when they announced the first syllable that it was Joey King, like, the heart of the game winner goes to one guy just fucking boo, and the stadium was clearing out too. So all you could hear was this guy fucking booing. He's like, "Fuck you, Joey!" This guy's wearing all Gopher stuff, and people hated this guy. But like these guys were blitzed, and the point is like you can't have this energy whether you're losing or winning. You can't. You got to have some sort of energy there. Everybody would be cleared out if there's no booze. Now, if there's booze, someone's there still making fun of the team and having a great time,
and
adding energy.
I've been a big advocate of fans booing. Mm-hmm. I love the fans.
Home team fans specifically.
I love home teams team fans booing their home team if they put on a bad show, or that kind of makes that team work for it more, and they take it to heart. You know, like that fucking sucks when your home crowd is booing. You're like, we gotta fucking step it up. Like, this is our fucking home barn, and we got our fans booing us. Like, we gotta do something.
Yeah,
right.
I love that
it's a kick
part.
in the ass.
I don't like those people who are always like, oh, you're booing this team. You know, they've tried so hard all season. It's like, well, trying hard.
Stop that shit.
Trying hard's not good enough.
Fuck that. It's about winning. Bill Guerin.
Some fat guy. Really quick, going back to like the Ralph and the fans getting carried out. Do you guys remember when Tyson Yost went to the Avalanche? I think it was his like his second year, right? He was like a one and done.
Yeah.
The NHL sat down and interviewed him about, you know, like his life and his hockey experience, and there was a few questions specifically about the University of North Dakota, and they asked him what's it like in the Ralph, what's the energy, you know, what's the student section like, and he said the student section was like something he's never seen before. He said he witnessed people just drunk out of their minds before the game would even start. He's like, I'm out there for pregame warmups and I see people getting carried out of the student section before the game even started. And to me, I was like, you know, that's any other game, but thinking about it in a funny way, this is an NHL story, and like other people are like, they've never experienced anything like this before. They're like, we've never even had anyone carried out of a game at any point. Yeah, and there are people getting carried out of the student section before the game even started. So like to see that like published in NHL and like the reactions to it, I'm like, man, the Ralph is just a different place, man. It's a fucking jungle. It's the jungle. Like you got to survive there.
And it's funny coming out of Josie because Tyson Jost is like, there's plenty of superstars that come through North Dakota, but he was one of the guys who like all about hockey and all about like he did everything. So dedicated.
I miss that guy.
It's such a good guy. Did I say Yost? I know that was his nickname was Yost.
It's Tyson Jost.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't. Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who would like he would still come to our parties. You know, like he was all around the boys, like love the boys. But he'd come to our parties and he'd have like a rollout stick, and he'd just be at our parties like rolling out his thighs, like just getting prepared for the next practice.
I love that
hockey
kid.
guy.
Yeah,
I love
he was
that
a
kid. He
complete hockey guy, and you could tell the day he walked in that rink, like this guy's gonna play in the NHL for a long time. Like, you could just tell.
Where's he at now? He's
still in Colorado.
Oh, he's still in Colorado.
Third line center.
Fucking A. As a Wild fan, it's
As
a UND fan, I'm proud of him. As a Wild fan, I hate him because the Avalanche have our number.
I do. I love that kid.
Jost,
I've got nothing but good things to say about that kid.
Me too. That kid's good shit.
Wish we would have had him at UND just one more year. But,
yeah, me too. But fuck it.
Yep.
All good things come to an end.
But thanks for having you guys on tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate the boss man and everybody coming on.
Yeah, this was a blast.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate
without a
it.
title.
Mr. Mike Hawk.
Shout out to Chill Boys, Soda Signs.
I'm gonna get
Mark
some fucking
West,
Chill
Pinot
Boys.
Noir.
Yeah,
it was a
Well
blast.
done,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys. It's interesting. I've never been a guest on a show where I've only had to go downstairs to be on it. So this is a different experience, but it's fun being in the studio and not being the host of something.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's fun. I've heard great things about this podcast, and it's been.
Are you saying it sarcastically? People
actually
do say great things.
I say that because I say that like I'm a guest that's not associated.
Because he's a Gopher fan, he doesn't want to hear.
I know that this is a great podcast. It's fantastic. I see the clips every fucking week, even though I'm not involved or in the room every time. But I knew. As soon as we brought you both on, or especially Gage, and you're like, I got a guy, Trevor. I'm like, I know that you two are going to have a great shit. So this has been
Bull Jack. Obviously, we're happy to have the entire Has Been crew. You guys seriously are the essence of what we're trying to build here. Just guys like us. So it's great to have you guys be part of the journey and.
You guys just allow us to be ourselves, and it's pretty cool.
That's what it's all about.
Stopping today, you guys are gonna have a different image by tomorrow. We're gonna enforce that. I'm warm, immature.
Dude,
no
all
swearing.
the people you guys mentioned, I won't say specifics, but all the people you mentioned were like, oh, this person listens, that person listens. You're going to be like, you guys have a great show, but who were those guys you had on?
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Were they some homeless drug addicts you found off the street? Like, I get that sometimes you're
No,
not going to
they
have guests.
found us. They found
Somehow
us.
we're...
It doesn't matter how much you tell them that we provided, we had the opportunity to provide you this podcast.
Yeah.
They're gonna think you own us.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not going to believe
They're
it.
gonna think we're
Which
a
is
bunch of
fine.
fucking idiots.
But our
that just walked
listeners
off the
should
street.
believe that. I mean, they are our bosses, but we do kind of own them.
Yes.
Right.
Make them believe
mentally
that.
and physically.
Yeah.
And
No, you guys
physically.
could beat us in a fight.
Yes.
Physically speaking, I don't think I could fight a fifth grader right now.
Unless I try to choke somebody out.
Maybe I need a weapon. I don't know.
I appreciate you guys, seriously.
Yeah, this is fun, guys. Thanks.
Ayo.
Around